shack at. The bottles getting empty up the crack and we stacking chips. All of it's what I want. Plus money winners, that's what I'm on. You can say I'm gone. I prefer elevated public sports radio. Time to get educated, get produced. Leave the juice, letting loose with so much abuse that the bookies wanna call it truth. They getting slaughtered. Can't forget Jeff and low baggers in the chat. That's a lethal weapon to be pubbing.
What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Wednesday, July 26th to all of you. Thank you for watching Betting with the Bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. We have the Big Ragoo joining us today, as well as Jose Bouquet for Boston Red Sox action and say hey plays that he wants to give out. It was another one of those days where, I end up in the black, but it could have been a real big day. But just 4-3 plus 0.6 units. But I did, and I've been doing this a lot lately. It's a pretty easy tactic, but I just been doubling down live when something goes against me early. So I doubled down on the under 5.5 first 5 in Blue Jays Dodgers, and then when that paid out right at the top of the 6th, I put all of the profit on the Dodgers money line at plus 160. So that all worked out real nice. But so much work to do to fix this season record. 4-3 plus 0.6 units yesterday. The Orioles plus 105. That was a hard luck casher given out by our guy TJ the Gift. We got to get him back on here as soon as possible because we know what the record is long term, and I don't want to get too caught up into this story of the first time a guest comes on the show. It's not a successful venture, because the sample size is too small, So I don't want that to get in anybody's heads, but I get it. Orioles plus 105. New York Mets, New York Yankees, first 5 under 4.5. I was very pensive about making that bet, but I did, and it cashed. I bet 2 overs that both lost, and I could have easily just taken the, Guardians and the Padres team total overs and cashed both, but lost the KC Cleveland over 8.5. Lost the Pittsburgh San Diego over 8. Cash the Guardians first 5 minus a half. Cash the Cubs first 5. Cash Oakland, San Francisco first 5 under 4.5. Cash those all easily, and then push Toronto, LA first 5 under 5. But as I told you, I got in live on the 5.5, and I almost didn't. It was plus 105, and I was like, I thought I'd get better after 1-1. And then I was like, no, I still like it. And I moved on. By the time I moved on, it was minus 105. So it did cost me a little bit of cash just being pensive. Shout out to all you guys. Great to see all of you guys. Justin McElvey in the house. Bryce Miller over 5.5 strikeouts at plus 112 for Justin McElvey. That's Stacks play today, coming off a winner yesterday. Razor Sharp Picks, as we got him at Parks yesterday. He did post his full card, but only the first 5 races ran. It looked too exact as 19-1 and 16.5-1. A try at 43-1 and the pick 5 at 440, 55. And he put the whole thing in our chat. I mean, this guy, there's no hotter thoroughbred capper in the world right now than our Razor Sharp Picks, and that must be utilized by us. Ron Crawford spreadsheet play today is the Baltimore Orioles. I've only made 2 bets. And I should have done this a long time ago. I kind of had it enough with the options that I have available, and so I did put cash into Pinnacle last night. When they came over to Ontario, I did all the proof, got all that ready to go, expecting to do this a long time ago. Finally did it last night. The final draw for me was the Rays first 5 minus a half was minus 120 with Bet365 and my local. It was minus 105 at Pinnacle. And I was like, 15 cents? It's just too big of a difference for me to be doing this full time. It's just like I have to. So Pinnacle will now become an option. I didn't use it for my second bet, though. Interestingly enough, I have the Guardians first 5 minus a half at minus 135. At that time, Pinnacle had them at minus 144. Pinnacle had since come back to minus 136. But Bet365 did give us. I would like to still use my local as much as possible because of the 25% in and out every Friday. I believe that's a really nice opportunity for me always to sort of bet a little out of my tax bracket, which is something that I prefer to do. But so that's, I've only got 2 bets on the board, and I looked a long time at Baltimore. I stared at Baltimore for a long time, and Professor Chris backing the spreadsheet play today. Spreadsheet play today was a winner yesterday with the Diamondbacks minus 117. Professor Chris says my model has Orioles money line minus 144, almost minus 145. Run line minus 115. It says lots of positive EV when I bet them at plus 102 to plus 160. There is Viper MB in the house. Armchair MMA ready to get to work. 1-0 yesterday on the Fighting Phils. That was a wild game. John Garcia ready to get to work. What up, Spidey? What up, Mommy? Those were the days, man. Yeah, no more. Was it Mommy? I hope it wasn't Mommy. Against me, John. I hope it was just Spidey. What's up, Mommy? I don't know, Mommy. It's just not something I say. I don't think I've said Mommy since I was 3. What up, Mommy? I'm pretty sure. It was Mama. Maybe it was Mama. But Mommy, I don't know. Armchair asking if the O's have Batista back. It was tough to watch them buckle there. Tampa Bay -1, Arizona -1 for Viper. Sports betting and poker in the house. This is with you guys on the O. Also taking a shot with the Blue Jays. Full game plus 118. So I've been staring at this over in the Jays Dodgers game. And my thinking here, and let's just see. So Pinnacle has now moved it to, so it's still, it's gone from 9.5 to 10. So it opened at 9.5, last there for 1 minute, went to 10 immediately. Since there it hasn't moved, I have a feeling that there's going to be some bats out of the lineup. I feel like if we wait until the lineup is announced, we could get that 9.5 again. There's got to be a reason why it's not going to 10. We know that Gonsolin is vulnerable. Kikuchi is, has looked great in that last start, but that was against Seattle, the team he played for. I'm sure he cares very much about this start, but I just have a feel. I want the over, but I would like to get a better number than that. So we will discuss. There's Mike M in the house. There is TJ says 2 out, shake my head. And then he says today's gift was going to be Colorado, Washington first 505.5, but that dropped to 5:20 minutes ago, so no play. TJ, let's get you back. Now, tomorrow might be difficult. There's only 4 games. We're going to do CFL and WNBA tomorrow. But if there's one for tomorrow, let's get you back up here as soon as possible. There's Kadesh ready to go. Troy Torrance, Fly White Mike, Nasty Nate. Look at that. Plus 13 units. Your Red Sox did you nice, man. They did you real nice. Fly White Mike says, love these morning games. Yes, both my bets are on the morning games, and we'll also be able to live bet as we go through. Wine Time Sports cashing that over. Detroit Angels over. That became a no sweater, I guess, by the end of it. But it was 4-2 going into the 9th. A 7-6 final. I was happy that you cashed, man. Jay Smooth ready to go. Kadesh turned 250 into 1.4 yesterday. I love that. There is the Big Ragoo who'll be joining us here shortly. Justin McElvey had a huge day yesterday. I love that. There's Clint Starr, the diehard MMA podcast, doing just huge things. Huge things. What a year he is having. I hope everybody watches the Die Hard podcast, but he also gives us the totals video. He also gives us the video right after the weigh-in, right? Putting all his last thoughts together. And then for the big events, we get the Sharp Money video as well. So Clint also up 50 plus units across the 50 unit line this year in MMA. Exciting. And we got the huge Bud Crawford, Errol Spence fight as well. I have a couple colleagues who kind of left stand-up comedy about 15, 20 years ago and focused on boxing and are involved in all levels of boxing here in Toronto and in Canada. And they both, it's a pretty simple bet, but they both like Bud by decision. That's plus 163 right now. The only problem with the look is, when they announced it, every single person agreed. Everybody's betting it. We kind of know how that works, but I'm looking forward. I haven't watched Preston's video. Our big breakdown with Danny Betts and Preston Ekdahl is up right now. That's our showcase video at Pub. So that's up right now. So big weekend of UFC, big weekend of boxing. It's Saturday night. It's going to be a lot of fun. My brother-in-law is going to throw a bash down in Parkdale. So probably going to head back. Hopefully I make it out alive. Mike M says, ribeye play today, cash, and hip to be square found a nice plus winner. Swept the board on the Balking Dead, too. Attaboy, Mikey. Attaboy. Troy Torrance says, for your information, since the All-Star break, line moves on the money line are only accurate 45% of the time. Compare that to 57% of the time pre-All-Star break. There's Steve G in the house, and we have a new play for UFC 291. Poirier and Gagey over 2.5 in the main event. That's a fun bet to have. That would make that that's exciting and fun. I'm interested in that. Troy Torrance is over 1,000 games now in the database. I love that. Bananas and grapes in the house. Justin McElvey parlayed Bellinger and Yoshida. I like it. Slatsy 45 says the Cooch under 5.5 Ks minus 138, 94 degrees in LA. And Kikuchi under 15.5 outs with Patrick Sandoval. Pablo Sandoval, the Panda. Patrick Sandoval under 18.5 outs at plus 148. But early this morning, storms expected in Detroit and wind blowing out, says our man Slatsy in the house. Serious business, ready to get to work. We got a great group. Joe Walsh, Professor Chris. That was minus 118. Professor Chris, that our guy Clint just gave it to us as. We got good Joe Walsh, RVD 420. Billy Friedrich says Crawford by decision plus 200 currently. Wow. Plus 163 at bet 365. Oh, shit. Raymond Reichart, Von Pol. It's great for live betting, though. We know that. DC Kaparov, he had another winning day, as always. Von Pol says, can you tell me where the money is on the boxing match? Yeah, I haven't looked. I should be able to here. No, I cannot. It's funny. They're only letting me see UFC cash. I'll find that, though. I'll get that info. It's not on the Action Network right now, but I'll get that info. All right. It's great to see all you guys. We got TT liking Errol Spence. You're going to get a nice price on Spence. I mean, I guess, this is not my forte. So, yeah, I shouldn't talk much. But from what I'm gathering, these guys who they call fights professionally up here in Toronto, and it's their job is boxing. They all thought that, when Bud and Spencer would meet up, when they were watching them when they were younger, they thought that Spence, Errol would be the bigger, tougher fighter, and that's just not what's happened. So their initial thought with how the two careers of these two great fighters would go, it's being different. Bud's the tougher guy, but you know what? I've got to study more of the experts. I'm no expert in boxing, but I'd like to be involved. Viper MB's on Errol as well. It's going to be a great fight. It's going to be really fun. It's going to be really fun Saturday night. Wine Time says, shout out to Clint. He cashed me this last week in the UFC, a big time. And Nut Flush On says, we know who to blame for TJ's loss. It's Jose. Troy saying you should do League Cup predictions because of the small slate tomorrow. Troy, that's an interesting way of looking at it. We'll do something. Oh, Echo Zulu races today. I didn't know that. Razor. Oh, wow. Okay. Wow. Okay. Tom Miggins, Dela Cruz, plus 500 is the home run units levels play of the day. Well, let's get to work here. Stimmy OG in the house. I was thinking of you when I watched that Mets cash. That was beauty. You just absolutely nailed that. I was thankful to catch that under 4.5 because of the 3-run homer. Her man is not to be trusted. Let me just get this. Get Tone Miggins levels play of the day set up so we can discuss here. I got stacks and I got the spreadsheet play today set up, so we are good to go. TJ says he has a much higher probability LA goes to 10.5 than 9.5. Okay, that would make sense here to me, from a capping standpoint. But what happens if they give Vladdy Guerrero the day off? He didn't look good yesterday. He didn't look bad, but Bichette was unbelievable after a day off. I just see all this money on the over, and we have a vividness bias on the over, and it not moving to the over right now. but I'm surprised. If this was already juiced to the over 10 at the books that I believe are the most reputable, I would already be on it. But bet Chris at a pick'em Pinnacle with a minus 107 to the over. So I'd be very, very, very interested to see how this all bangs out. All right, let's get to work. There's Guillermo Zertucci in the house. DT saying he was a public favorite before the numbers dropping and he's plus money. Give me Bud at minus 146. Yeah, I wonder if Bud just to win the, I guess they all, it just always makes me nervous when every single person in a group agrees that Bud by decision is the look. I'm really excited about watching the fight though, so we'll talk more about that. Maybe we should get an expert to come on. For maybe that's what we should do tomorrow. Maybe I'll see if I can get Clint to come on, talk a little UFC, and maybe get Preston to come on, talk a little boxing. I'll make sure that this is going on. Yes, Antoine Taylor, thank you for joining us. Is this live? Yes, it's live. Let's bring on the and Troy. Philadelphia Union win draw, no bet, parlayed with Monterey plus a half minus 125 from Troy Nowak. Thank you for sharing that with us, Troy. And Justin saying that parlay that I mentioned was him tailing Mikey M yesterday. I love it. It was a good day. It was a good day, but it could have been a great day. And I want a great day today. So let's get to work. We have just the man for the job. And it's right about now. It's right about now when this man gets hot. He always gets very, very hot in leagues in the second half of the season. And at this point in my career with your guest, he's never had a losing season before in any sport he's ever capped with me. I mean, that's just ridiculous. That's just ludicrous. But he hasn't. And he's got some work to do here in MLB to get himself into the black where he resides. So let's bring him on from Ocala, Florida. I love capping with this gentleman. Please welcome the Big Ragoo to the show. Doc, how are you?
Hey, I'm wonderful, man. I'm doing well. Glad to be here with you. Like you said, there's little work to do. Got to get out of the red, get back in the black, which it's not an insurmountable task. I've done it before. Like you said, it's time to put the fire under my ass and let's cash some tickets. You're talking about all the great cappers. With Razor has been spectacular. Clint, these are the guys we've been running with since we've been working together the past few years, and the family keeps getting bigger and bigger and better and better, man. We just keep moving forward. Mike M, Dave, the list goes on. So anyways, let's keep that positive vibe going. Let's cash some fucking tickets today and see what, let's cap this card and let's work with the guys in the chat and get some winners on the board.
I love it. Let's do exactly that. And it's great to have you, Doc. TJ says he can do Friday. Well, that's good, TJ, because I'm going to do CFL tomorrow so that we don't need to do CFL Friday. So we can extend the MLB breakdowns a little bit. And then I'll talk to some of the fight pros to see if they can come on and talk.
That fight's going to be interesting. My dad's a big fight guy. I got the Rocky Marciano pictures. I'm going over his house Saturday to watch the fight. I have a friend of mine that's a referee. He's done a lot of big matches in Florida over the years. He's in the Hall of Fame. He said they've been trying to put this fight together for a day and a half now, for a long time. And he says it's a Renaissance fight. It's like a Hagler Hearns type fight. That's what it's going to boil down to. But he hasn't given me who he likes yet. But if he does, I'll come on the show, or not on the show, but I'll post in the chat tomorrow.
Oh, so we'd love that. That would be or even if it's Friday, if he needs more time.
Yeah.
You don't rush that kind of thing.
I'm going to be talking to him next day or two. So before the weekend comes, I'll put his pick in there. He's pretty good with the boxing game.
Oh, I love it. It's going to be really, really fun. Really, really fun. All right. It is great to have all of you guys here. TJ saying, did the gift come through? I thought that the gift was let go. The gift has not come through. There's Chase White in the house. Sorry, I missed some of these comments. J.A. in the house. Nat State says it was mama. Thank you. I'm not going to say mommy. Come on. The fuck? 43 years old. You're going to say mommy? Nate Dogg in the house. Nate Dogg 420. It's great to see you, my man. And, the record. The drive-by series. Let's get this here. There's Rod Zawacki in the house. Over 4.5 is the gift. Let's get that here right now. All right, let's get to work. Now, it's my record that needs the most work. Jose's been on a heater the last this week, and he's starting to get his record where we want it to be.
Shout out to Jose, man. I was on his show Sunday. I went 7-1 on Jose's show Sunday. Then I fucking blew an 0-3 spot on Monday. Then yesterday I said, you know what? Fucking taking a day off. And today I'm back with you.
I love it. Well, let's get right to work. We have a game popping off in 45 short minutes, 12:05 p.m. Eastern. Colorado Rockies 40-61, 17-35 on the road. The Washington Nationals 42-59, 19-33 at home. Nationals Park in Washington, D.C. It's funny, capping. You know, if you focus solely on the numbers and what we're dealing with, you know, this Rockies bullpen's been very good since July 1st, and the Nats bullpen's been the worst in the league. But who broke down last night was the Rockies bullpen. Rocco Rogers saying he's leaning Nats, no bet. We have Peter Lambert going up against Jake Irvin. Let's take a look at the weather first off at Nationals Park. Let me get this up. First off, Nationals, you know what? I'll refresh this. It's been up since last night. Let me just make sure that's as up to date as possible. We have 83 Fahrenheit, 4.8 miles per hour out to left field. Gets up to 6.5 miles per hour out to left field. It's hot. The Nationals Park plus 10% homers, plus 19% doubles and triples, plus 13% runs. We have 4 parks that are double-digit plus runs, Fenway being the most offensive, Progressive Field in Cleveland second, Nationals Park third, and then Guaranteed Rate Field in Chicago is fourth. So we have Lambert going up against Jake Irvin, and, you know, I do believe that Jake Irvin is in a situation that should help him here, you know. He's got consecutive home starts. He's been pretty good of late. He's not been great at home this year, but he's been, again, pretty good of late. And that, you have to say, that was his best start of the season in that 5-3 win at home over the Giants last out. 9 strikeouts, 1 walk, 6 2/3, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, and here he is back at home. This total opened up at 9.15, 9.5 at minus 115. That's at Bet Online. It opened up there. It opened up at Pinnacle at 9.5 minus 112 to the over. It got to 10, but it's come back, and it's now at 9.5 juice to the under. So we actually have 13 cents of movement to this under. 13 cents of movement. Let's take a look at the money line here for this one. Our first game of the day popping off in 40 minutes time. We have a 13-cent move to the under and a slight move. Actually, no, geez, a big move to the Nats. Wow, that's a bigger move than I had expected it to be. 17 cents of movement to the Nats. And this all happened this morning because at 9:34, there had been 3 cents of movement. So since then, we've had a 14-cent move, a big move to the Nationals. So let's take a look at the cash flow here. 61% of the tickets and 71% of the cash on the Colorado Rockies. And from a total standpoint, you have 35% of tickets and 58% cash on the under. That's interesting. Andrew G says it's so muggy out. The balls are flying, summer heat. He was sweating outside earlier. And Mike M says, love this under 9.5. I double dipped the first 5 under 5 in the full game under 9.5 here. And remember, this was going to be the first 5 under was going to be the gift. And there it is from TJ says, love the first 5 under here, still at 5. Not as much as I loved it at 5.5, but still a very good bet. Easy to look at the pictures and assume over, but both trending very well. This is appealing. Now, of course, we're all using different sites to get this information. Raymond Reichert sees 80% of public on the under. I have 35% of the public on the under, but 58% of the cash. So the big bet's on it. This is interesting. I always liked Jake Irvin in this spot, but I think we're cocking myself into action. But Andrew Lilio Jameson, our guy, also he liking the Rockies' first 5, and John Garcia liking the Rockies' first 5. There's Dabra Kadabra in the house. Take it away for us here. Big Ragoo, Rockies, Nats at Nationals Park. First game of the day.
This is an interesting cap, this game here. A lot of mixed signals, you know, however you want to put them together. But if you look into the ERAs of these pitchers, you know, you would think right away it's an over, you know, just by looking. I know 9.5 is a tall number too. But if you break it down and you look into what Lambert has done I mean, he had a lot of appearances, a lot of 2 inning stints, bullpen type stuff all the way through his career, and he's got a lot of appearances. He's got a 2-1 record. Irvin, he lacks a little bit too. So naturally you say, hey, this game's got to be over. But if you look into what the Rockies have done of late, with their bats, I mean, they're struggling against righties. Is Jake Irvin a quality enough pitcher to kind of hold the Rockies bats down? I say he's going to be so here in this spot. But if you get involved in this game, I would definitely do it early. And that's exactly what I looked at, because I looked at the first 5 under here, but I don't want to trust the Rockies bullpen, even though they have been better late. So there's a couple things I don't trust. I don't trust the Rockies bullpens. I don't trust their bats right now. I mean, their bats are lacking a little bit. So I don't hate the Nats look either, but the look for me here would have to be the first 5 under, because Lambert's short term. I think it's going to be bullpen early for the Rockies. And then if the Rockies bullpen shows up, the ones that we're not trusting but that have been pitching better of late, then then that might bode well for a long-term under. But I get involved here, it's definitely going to be the first 5 under, and that's the look I like. I know there are bigger bets on the under full game too, but I would get involved here with the first 5 under 5.5.
I'm right with you, and they're both available right now at Penny at nice prices. Interestingly enough, the full game under 9.5 is juiced to minus 113 at Pinnacle. It's even money at Bet365, but I still am much more comfortable focusing on the first 5 under 5.5. That was supposed to be the gift, but it moved to 5. It's still at 5.5 at Pinnacle at minus 119. I'm comfortable with that juice. And then the first 5 on the Nats is minus 138. Look, I know that we're taking the under, which we're saying that there's low volatility, but I still want that minus a half for the Nats to take it down to even money. I still I don't want to sit here with the shit baseball team and have a risk reward that minimal. So
I'm going to try not to double up today, Jim, in a lot of spots, because I don't usually double up a lot, but that's one I thought about doing too. But I've got like 1 or 2 spots that I might double up later. But I was going to circle back to this game, as a lean, but since it's going off early and I want to put it out there, just make it official for me under the 5.5 first 5.
Yeah, so sorry, I'm kind of selfish right now, just kind of putting together how I'm going to make money on this game. What did you want to make official? I know you
the first 5 under.
First 5, and do you want that 5.5 and minus 119?
Yeah, I'll take the 119. Yeah.
Okay, so Ragoo is on the under 5.5 minus 119, and God, why is sorry, my password's not in this stupid thing right now. Let's see if we can. Okay, sorry. Okay, so let's get this in here and bet. Come on, sorry, the password bullshit. Okay, let's get this in and locked in. Okay, sorry. Fit to play, not a robot. Jesus. Okay, I'm gonna get this in here while Ragoo's betting the next spot. I haven't had cash in this account for a while. Okay. And TJ says if you can get the under 5.5, he'll make it the gift today. So he says 2 for today. So Nats first 5 minus a half, minus 101 for me, and the first 5 under 5.5 and minus 119. And we have more action here from Clint, star of the Die Hard MMA podcast. I'm going to copy and paste that. So Ferguson plus 3.5 on DraftKings, 1 unit. Moneyline plus 310, half unit, and KO round 2 at plus 2,800. Going for some big scores over there. So I'm going to copy and paste all that. Thank you for sharing that with us, Clint. We have moved. Ragoo and I have moved. I haven't pressed the button yet, so I would like to have that button pressed, but that will be pressed in a second. I just got to click on the images that are on a motorcycle, which is such bullshit. Okay, so let's move. Annoying. Let's move on. We move on to 12:10 p.m. Eastern. Miami Marlins 54-48, 23-28 on the road at the Tampa Bay Rays, 62-42, 37-18 at home at Tropicana Field in St. Petersburg, Florida. So this was the final draw for me, and I know that I should have done it, a long time ago. But the final draw for me was the 15-cent difference last night on the first 5. I could not handle that difference. Jesus, can you just stop this? Sorry, I'm trying to get this bet in while I'm live here. That's too annoying. So I opened up. Well, I have the account. I just put money into the Pinnacle account. Now, we always talk about the unit size and how much you're supposed to. Like, I honestly, I don't know. It's possible that this money doesn't last that long. There's 1.5K in it. My unit size is $150, and that's what 10 bets. So we'll see how long this account lasts. And I'll be honest with you guys, if I have to go straight back to the local, and I still want to use the local, but. Enough said. So I wanted Zach Eflin first 5 -1/2. I was really impressed with his start at home versus the Orioles. I love, as you guys know, I love the consecutive home start. So I moved on that. Let's pull this up here. Sorry. And right now, that first 5 -1/2, it was -115 when I looked again this morning. Right now at Pinnacle, the first 5 -1/2. Wow. It's even money. So we've had to move back to the Marlins. That really makes me nervous. Let's see exactly what's happening in the marketplace then. I hate that. So we have the Rays opening up at -170 at Bet Online. They opened up at -151 here at Pinnacle. Now they're -174. So there's been 23 cents of movement. I don't know why Alcantara would be getting money on the first 5. I would just like to see that here, that what exactly is happening on the first 5 and how this is moving against me here. Let's see. Let's just use Bet Chris here. Bet Chris opened this up at -175. And yes, they've moved Tampa down to -160. So that's interesting. Okay, so there's a move on the Marlins first 5. Of course, that makes me feel very uncomfortable. Let's see what the total says here, and then we'll take a look at the cash and then hand it over to our guy, the Big Ragoo. This total opened up at 7.5. When Bet Online opened it, it was juiced to the over. Here at Pinnacle, slightly juiced to the under, and we've had a big move of late. This even dropped to 7 half an hour ago. So we have a 12-cent move to the under. So we have a move to the Rays full game, a move to the Marlins first 5, and we have a move to the under. But 32% of tickets and 84% of cash are on the over. I don't know how anybody could bet an over with the Marlins baseball team. And then you have 26% of the tickets and 51% of the cash. Looks like there's sharp action on Alcantara and the Marlins. He did not look good in that last start at the Cardinals, and I thought that he would be better. He allowed 4 runs in the first inning. Then he shut them down. But it was really tough to watch. That was on Friday, I believe. On the road, 4.91 ERA, 277 opponent's batting average. Just looks nothing like who he was last year. And then Zach Eflin at home is an absolute monster. 10-1, 2.10 ERA, 72 strikeouts to 7 walks, 193 opponent's batting average. The Marlins aren't hitting, and both bullpens have been pretty good. Let's hear what our guy Ragoo has to say about this spot. Marlins, Rays, and this one pops off in 37 minutes.
Yeah, let's get on this one quickly. So, yeah, I thought like you with Eflin. You look at Eflin's numbers at home, they're really good. Nice effort last out. The Marlins, they're 1-9 since the break, and the Rays, they've been 7 of 8, on the L. So both teams are struggling a little bit here. Marlin bats, I think, a little bit more, but I think maybe if you read into Sandy's numbers with going up against the Marlins lineup, I guess the big 2, he's had some success against them, Arena and Wander, I believe. Anyways. But I like Eflin here in this spot. I think this is a good spot. And at some point in time, the Rays are gonna catch fire. So why not do it now? Get a nice little citrus series, as we call it down here, a sweep against these Marlins here. So I like the Marlins here. I like you. I'm with you. I like the first 5. I think now the under. I can see the under maybe a little bit, but I think I would probably lean over if I was to make a bet, but I'm not going to do that. But I definitely like the Rays on the first 5 -1/2 run, -110. And if you look at Eflin's K prop, he's logging about 7 innings at home on average, and his number's sitting like 5.5. He's averaging just a little above 1K per inning. So he's sitting at 5.5 at 110 also. So I think there's some value there. Sandy's got a lower number, but his juice way up. It's like 145, 150, like for 4.5 Ks. So, it's showing he's struggling a little bit. So if you read into those numbers, I think the Rays are to play first 5 and Eflin on the K prop.
Yeah, I like where you're at. You're going to get a better number than me here, Rays. First 5 minus a half at plus 100. And what are you getting on the Eflin prop?
110.
It's over what? How many?
5.5.
Over 5.5 Ks at minus 110. JPZ's betting the Rays minus 1.5 says no service. And this comment might not go through, but Leche. What a guy. Oh, we love you. we love you, JPZ. What a guy is, man. Fighting the good fight. Scarminati liking Rays Marlins first 5 over 3.5. Billy Friedrich says Rays have scored more than 4 runs 2 times in the last 11 games since the All-Star break. Yeah, I'm surprised here. I am surprised. And TJ saying there's nothing in Sandy's numbers where this move makes sense. Got to stay off. I am surprised that this is even. So when you are saying that you kind of like the over, is that because you think that Sandy is vulnerable?
Pretty much so, yeah. I think, like I said, I expect the Rays bats to kind of come alive at some point in time, and I think I know Sandy's has had his struggles all around, so I think this is a good opportunity. And like I say, he's got a very small sample size against their top 2 hitters, and he's been successful against them. And the other guys haven't seen him yet, so maybe that's playing into some of that money coming back on Sandy.
Yeah, you guys were money in WNBA yesterday. Great work for us in the chat. All you guys were great work. Wow, there's some questions about lineups, and I really want to know the lineups. I haven't looked at these already, but I want to know the lineups for the Jays game. For the Rays, you have Lau, Franco, Arozarena, Rayleigh, Paredes, Ramirez, Lowe, Siri, and Betancourt. For the Marlins, Arise, Soler, De La Cruz, Sanchez, Gurriel, Wendell, Birdie, Stallings, and Dane Myers. So I think that this under is in play again. I really, really do. And I just wanted to take one last look at how I would bet it. I would then trust the bullpens here, trust the weakness of the offense. Pinnacle hanging at under 7.5 at minus 120. So there's been a big move of late. Jesus, it's going to be more action than I had planned on these early games. 5 cents better than what the Bet 365 is hanging in this at. All right.
The under makes sense too, because both guys do, they go 6-7. You get 7 solid out of Eflin and 7 from Sandy. Let's say he holds the lineup down. And under should definitely be in play. But I leaned over a little bit, but it makes sense. The under, I don't hate the under. I mean, I'm off either way, but I'm just saying it makes sense either way you look at it. I would say probably lean. I lean over, but the under makes more sense to me.
I'll also be able to live bet these spots too if it kind of goes against us early. Moose Money says, wouldn't be shocked if Sandy did some arm slot adjustments this next year to potentially hide the ball better. Okay, so that would be the last. I have not added that full game under 7.5. I'm very interested. There's our guy, Dommy Gunn Ricci in the house. Dommy, we've missed you. Great to see you. Justin McElvey on Rays score first and the win at plus 155. Mike M saying Miami 0-12 as a dog of plus 130 or higher. All right, well, let's roll on, and then I will bet that under 7.5 here while the next breakdown is on. But we're locked now. We're locked in a pretty good spot with our early action. Oh, that's a Sandy stat. Okay, that's a Sandy Alcantara stat. All right, let's move on. Kansas City Royals 29-74, 14-38 on the road. The Cleveland Guardians 50-51, 27-24 at home Progressive Field, Cleveland, Ohio. Alec Marsh going up against Gavin Williams. Look, I'm not that low on Marsh. I think Marsh is going to be fine. He didn't look very good in that last start at the Yankees, but that's a really tough spot for a young pitcher. And Gavin Williams has not been very good at home. He's coming off a 6-5 win at home. He went 4 innings, allowed just 1 earned run. And his numbers aren't good at home. I think the sample size is too small. The Royals just don't hit righties. 229, 643 OPS for them since July 1st. And the Guardians are hitting 275, 748. Both bullpens have been bad. It was a perfect setup for a double up on the Guardians yesterday. I did not do that. But I did move on the Guardians first 5 minus a half. And we did have to wait for the 5th inning for Greinke to fall apart, but he still fell apart. And right now, I imagine this number's gone down. I'm surprised that this is happening, but now it's minus 130. Got even a better number if you had have waited. And for whatever reason, is Bet365 even still offering this better number than Pinnacle? I mean, that's just my own information. That doesn't important for the show. So look, I'm on the Guardians first 5 minus half, minus 135. Mr. Heat on Royals money line here. It feels like the sharp action is on Kansas City. We saw that in game 1 of this series, and they cashed comfortably. So Royals, Guardians. Let's quickly touch on the weather. 88 Fahrenheit, 13.7 miles per hour right out to straightaway center. Gets up to 15.5 miles per hour. Ballpark Pal has Progressive Field is the second most offensive ballpark, plus 16% home runs, plus 13 doubles and triples, plus 15% runs. If anybody can hold that down between Marsh and Gavin Williams, it'd be, someone who we thought was going to be a strikeout specialist in the majors. Now, thus far in their young careers, Alec Marsh has a better K to inning, Ks over 9 inning ratio than Gavin Williams, but I don't know if that is something that will continue. Let's take a look at the line history then for this one. This total has moved to 10 at all books. Moved to 10. It is slightly juiced to the over at Pinnacle, but this opened up at 10.5. So it opened up at 10.5 last night. And it's at 10 at all books. So that's interesting with all this offensive weather. And then from a money line look here, we have the Guardians opening up right about where they are. At least that Bet Online opened them at minus 190. Pinnacle opened them up at minus 194. They're now minus 185. So we've had a short move towards the Royals and a move to the under. And then when we take a look at the cash flow, you have 73% of tickets, 73% of cash on the over. And then 25% of tickets, but 72% of cash on the Royals. So it seems like there's sharp money on Marsh. Take it away for us here, Ragoo. I'm on the Guardians first 5 minus a half, Progressive Field in Cleveland, Ohio.
Yeah, Marsh's last out was pretty good against the Yanks here. But I know these two teams are well familiar with one another. I think, they played a couple weeks back. Not too far back, anyways. But like you said, the Dodgers, the Guardians are hitting a lot better now, and if you go look at the way these teams have been playing one another, they haven't had that big offensive explosion. Like you've had some kind of low scoring games, and then you've had like the alternating game that kind of maybe been close to getting above 8-9 runs. So I mean, is it that time for that type of game to happen here? Is a good possibility. Weather permitting, I think we'll see a bunch of runs here. But I mean, the number's pretty high. We're looking at double digits, and I don't know if we get above the 10 run mark here to put an over in play. But I think we'll see a decent effort out of both of these guys. Williams, he's pitched effectively, and I think Marsh is better than what he ran into a little rough. He got bumped up a little bit, but he had some good Ks and with the Yanks, and the Yanks are struggling too hitting the ball. So this is a game I'm going to be off of, but I don't hate either side here actually. And I have seen the sharper money come looking in on Kansas City here too. So I think they're a live dog here in this spot, but I'm going to be off of this game.
Yeah, the market's certainly not giving me any confidence, but I believe this is what
I mean. Maybe if you're going to back Cleveland, I would probably back them on the run line, but I don't hate Kansas City as a dog look either. So that's the only two ways I would approach it. If you're going to play Kansas City, take them, obviously on the money line. But if you're going to take Cleveland, take them on the run line.
Yeah, no, I feel that. And Moose Money saying Williams is a dog, though. Listening to the Guardians announcer saying and doing all the things you want a young pitcher doing and saying. Justin McElvey on the over at 10 here in this one, and Billy Brisbane in the house. He's on the over 4.5 Ks for Gavin Williams. So unbelievably, that is all of my action. So I have 5 bets now on today's card, and it's all right there in these afternoon games. I have the under 5.5, and the Nats first 5 minus a half. Then I have the Rays first 5 minus a half, and the full game under 7.5, and the Guardians first 5 minus a half. So there we go. Troy Torrance says, why first half and not full game? Because if I've been watching this Guardians team really closely because I have the divisional future on them that I expect to lose. Their bullpen's been trash. And, since July 1st, the Guardians bullpen's barely better than the Royals bullpen. Where do I believe my advantage is? I think Gavin Williams could be an elite pitcher. And now you have Marsh with his 5th start of his career, back-to-back road starts. So I think my biggest advantage is the Guardians versus righties against the Royals versus righties, and Gavin Williams over Alec Marsh. So that's why. But I totally understand the full game look. All right, so let's move on. Next up for us, 1:10 p.m. Eastern, we got Seaborn Jenkins in the house. Thank you for joining us. All of you guys, thank you for joining us here on Pub Sports Radio. Afternoon action, we'll be live betting it as we go here today, and a lot of action here. So Justin McElvey will get us started. He is on Bryce Miller over 5.5 Ks for his stacks play of the day. We're in Mariners Twins here, and what a comeback by the Mariners last night. Target Field in Minneapolis, Minnesota. The Twins bullpen also faltering a little bit of late, but their offense has been much stronger than I expected. I really thought with Correa's elephant foot and Buxton's constant injuries and Kepler's migraines that this team would fall off. But Kirilov, last week's AL player of the week, they have guys stepping up for them. 80 Fahrenheit at Target Field, 6.2 miles per hour to center, between 6.2 and 7.1 miles per hour. Let's go over to Ballpark Pal and see what they think of this spot. And Target plus 8% home runs, plus 8% runs. It's hot weather, a lot of offensive ballparks here. Rocco Rogers on Joe Ryan over 6.5 Ks at minus 145. Big play for him. And over 7.5 Ks at plus 120. Moose Money also saying, was literally typing that Cleveland bullpen's been heavily used recently as well. Oh, they've really upset me. That was the one thing I thought I could bank on with the Tribe was their bullpen, and it just, they're just not as good as the Twins right now, and it's sucks saying that. All right, so let's take a look at the line history here for this spot, and we got a nice pitching matchup. But I told you guys last week when Joe Ryan was going up against Lance Lynn that I don't know what Joe Ryan's going to give you, and they both got completely lit up. It was a 9-6 final that the Twins won. And no thanks to Ryan. If you look at Ryan's last 6 starts, 5 of them are atrocious, and one is, 9 innings of shutout ball and double-digit strikeouts. So he's not an easy cap right now. Twins opening up minus 121. They're now minus 148. Now that's a big move. 27-cent move over to the Minnesota Twins. And let's take a look at the total here in this one. So we have a 27-cent move here, and from a total standpoint, get this going. We have it opening up at 8 at Bet Online. Also, it opened up at 8 at Pinnacle. It is now at 8.5 at minus 115. So we have a move to the over, and we have a move to the Twins. So let's take a look at the cash flow then for this spot. On the money line, 40% of the tickets and 68% of the cash is on the Twins. It feels like it's sharp action. And then you have 48% of the tickets and 70% of cash on the over. It feels like that's sharp action. TJ says he's very concerned with Miller on the road, very concerned with Ryan. But Seattle offense mediocre while Minnesota's hot. Minnesota's a better pen. Twinkies or pass. Rocco Rogers moved on the Twins' first 5 team total over 2.5 at plus 115, and he's also on that first 5 as well. Robert Franklin leaning towards the over, and he's on the Mariners money line. Moose Money saying Bryce Miller throws fastballs almost 50% of the time, registering a 200 batting average against. Twins hit fastballs really well. Billy Friedrich, though, he'll be on the M's full game, possibly first 5 as well. And there is our guy Mark Schillingberg. Says, what up, Lowbag fam? Seattle just jumped on him at plus money as soon as they tied it last night. Oh, nice job getting it live. I like it. And BJ says this is a clear Twins spot. Twins money line for 2 units. Bryce Miller on the road, 4.85 ERA, 232 opponent's batting average. He's coming off a nice start at home versus the Jays, but now he's out on the road. And then Oh, it was 9-4 win over the White Sox. So I was 9-6 in my head. But, 10 strikeouts again for Joe Ryan, but he allows 4 earned runs. He allows 2 jacks. He's been really good at home this year, but I don't trust him that much. And the Mariners since July 1st are hitting righties, 243 with 772 OPS, not as hard as the Twins, mind you. Twins are hitting them very hard. And all of a sudden, the Mariners bullpen's pitching very well. And when they played the Jays, I heard a long radio interview about what was going on with the Mariners right now. And they were saying that the only thing they can really count on over the last few weeks has been their bullpen. Take it away for us. Well, also they're starting pitching. I mean, their starting pitching's 4th in the entire league, or at least it was about a week ago, and yet they're sitting here 51-50. Take it away, Ragoo. This is a big one. Mariners, Twinkies.
Yeah, this is another interesting cap here with both these pitchers. I agree with Miller's road numbers. Not as sharp as home. Ryan, he's got good K. He's got good K numbers, but they don't always equate to great performances. But his ERA is a little ticked up here. But yeah, I thought I was watching the markets on the total here. I took a real interest in the total with this spot here. I like the way the Twins are hitting the ball too, and you're right about the M's bullpens is a lot better of late. Been pretty decent, but I think both these pitchers are vulnerable in these spots here. For runs, and if you looked at I think the total opened up at it was kind of shaded. I think it's like 118 and kind of ticked up a little bit, but now I'm knowing that it's kind of crept up over the 8 number. So I kind of like that there. So I like the over here. I think both pitchers are vulnerable in these spots, and I know Seattle don't have big bats, but I think that little spark yesterday dropping Rodriguez down in the lineup, from 3 to 5, kind of. They got that late win, kind of generated the offense a little bit, shaking things up. So I kind of like it going forward. So I'm going to be on the over here, over 8.5.
Over 8.5, we get you minus 119. Heritage just moved it to 9.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Well, I think you're on the right track here. Over 8.5 for Ragoo. Over 8.5 at minus 119. Yeah, I feel like you're on the right track. Let's just see what I'm being offered here. I think I'd like to join you on this full game over here. We could also bet it live, minus 120 with the local. And here it's, wow, they've moved it to 9 at Pinnacle. But let's see what the 8.5 is. Minus 119. I'm going to send this into my local. I don't want to put too many bets into this. I only have 1.5K in this Pinnacle account. So I'm going to, so you're going to get the 119. I'm going to get the over 8.5 at minus 120. All right, we are locked in. Rod's wacky liking that over as well. Teacher says, does Minnesota team total over make more sense with Ryan being the unknown? Yeah, I think it does. But when I feel like both pitchers are somewhat vulnerable, it has hurt me in the past when I've decided I only want to take it in one direction. So I would prefer to get the offense from both squads here, but maybe I'm dumbing it down, and that doesn't, always help. So I think you might have nailed it. 4.5 at plus 100 for Minnesota for the team total over. And Mike M saying Joe Ryan under 7Ks minus 115 isn't a bad look. So I'm going to send this in as well. Razor Sharp Picks, thank you for joining us, and thank you for sharing that whole card at Parks with us yesterday. You're a great capper and a great friend. All right, so Ragoo and I both on the over 8.5. Justin McElvey on Miller over 5.5 Ks. And a lot of love for the Minnesota Twins here. Okay, let's move on. Cincinnati Reds, Milwaukee Brewers. I'm going to have to send that action in here while the show's on because that is a 110 start. Rod's wacky liking that first 5 over 4.5 as well. I get that. And, okay. All right. That's, okay, let's just stay focused. 2:10 p.m. Eastern, Cincinnati Reds 56-47, 28-21 on the road at the Milwaukee Brewers, 56-46, 28-24 at home at American Family Field in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Let's see, it's too hot. That roof will be closed. I imagine they would close the roof there. It's hot and sticky, so let's act as if this roof will be closed. Let's take a look at the line history here for Ben Lively versus Freddie Peralta. We have this opening up at 8.5, and it's moved to 9. It is heavily juiced to the under. 8.5 with a move to 9. Let's take a look at the money line here for this one. Here we go for the money line. We have a legit move to Lively, and I get it, man, but Peralta is a tricky cap as well. Brewers opening up -136 and now -133. So we have a 3-cent move to the Cincinnati Reds. 3 cents move. And Mike M, Pimp Slap play today is in. It is the Milwaukee Brewers. Pimp Slap play of the day is in, and it is the Milwaukee Brewers and Freddie Peralta. Interesting. All right, let's take a look at the cash flow here for this one. 43% of the tickets and 86% of the cash on the under. This is moving towards the over. I apologize for my son crying. Tough road for him last couple of days. He's fighting the tough fight. He's one boy around 3 girls, and it's driving him crazy, driving the man crazy. And not in the bad. Not that he doesn't love it. I think he loves it too much. 49% of the tickets, 65% of the cash on the Milwaukee Brewers. So it feels like there's sharp action there on Freddie Peralta. Ben Lively, 4 2/3, 4 hits, 3 earned runs in his last start, 9-6 win at home versus Arizona. He's been good this year and extremely helpful to this squad. His splits are fine. There's no real difference on the road or at home. His K to walk ratio is great. It seems like when they barrel him up, they go yardstick, but still he's been pretty good. Peralta last start at home versus the Braves, he got touched by that very, very dangerous offense. He has a 4.47 ERA at home. The Reds are hitting 236, 743 versus righties. The Brewers 242, 704. That's since July 1st, and both bullpens have been quite good, especially the Brewers bullpen. Take it away for us here, Doc. The Pimp Slap play today is in, and it's the Brewers.
Yeah, this was a tough cap for me. I always struggle with the Central, except for the Reds. I've been pretty decent with the Reds this year, but Brewers, I think they're kind of turning the corner here. This is every game from here on out is important for both of these squads because they're in a tight race, and this is a one-up type game for the Brew Crew and for the Reds. But I think Peralta is probably the more, I would say, reliable, if you can use that word with him right now. But I know Lively struggled against the Brewers. He's 0-2 this season, going up against them. But Peralta, coming off that tough game with the Braves, Peralta, he's only got 1 win in his last 7. So, I mean, how do you cap this game? So I'm going to say it was an easy toss out for me, but I would probably lean towards the over in this spot here also because the Braves, the Brewers bats are a little more live of late, and the Reds, they've been swinging good bats all season long, and if Peralta's just off a little bit, I don't hate the 9 here. Maybe even a first 5 overlook in this spot too. So I'm not going to get to the window with this particular spot, but I would lean long, full game over here with both these pitchers being vulnerable here. Especially Lively and Peralta, only getting the 1 win. But if he's on, it could be a good game it could be a run line type game for Milwaukee. But I would lean over here full game with both these pitchers. You're muted, Jim.
Yeah, you're muted.
Thank you. I don't trust Freddie Peralta. I think that's what it comes down to. I just don't trust him. I like the fact that he has consecutive starts. I like the fact that he just had to pitch the Braves and now he's pitching the Reds. Now the Reds, are hitting righties hard as well.
Yeah.
But and I've got so much action now in all these afternoon games, and do I really feel that confident here? Tom Miggins gave us the Ellie De La Cruz plus 500 for the Jack of the day. There's AOD in the house. So yeah. I guess I see what you were looking at with the total.
Yeah, Rod Zawacki likes over the first 5, 4.5.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. And this full game is just moved to 9 at Pinnacle. Did it just move there? Or was it already there? Sorry, let me just double check that. I want to say. It moved to 9 at 9:38. So it's just kind of sitting there. And when we go back to the cash flow here on this total, we have 43% of tickets, 86% of cash on the under, but people not paying attention or not caring for that. All right, I'm going to move past it. I'm going to move past it. We miss you, Dommy Gun, very much. Thank you for joining us when you can, and we love you, man. We love you. We do follow your work over at Who Bangin', and we love all the Who Bangin' squad here at Pub. So Pimp Slot play today. Tom Miggins Levels play today, but Ragoo and I off. We have action starting here for our live betting in 5 minutes. Colorado, Washington, 5 minutes. So I'll have that game up here, so we'll be able to make moves live if we feel the need. 3:40 p.m. Eastern. St. Louis Cardinals 45-57, 23-31 on the road at the Arizona Diamondbacks 55-47, 27-25 at home. Chase Field in Phoenix, Arizona. Jack Flaherty going up against Zach Gallen. Flaherty, Gallen going up against each other here. Why don't we start? Oh, we know the roof will be closed, so let's just go right to the line analysis here for Flaherty Gallen. And you guys know that there was a time when I said Gallen was bet on. I guess he's sort of proven it. I mean, the ROI of backing him hasn't been bad. This total opened up at 8.5 at 3:12 this morning. It's gone up to 9 a few times, heavily juiced to the under. So it's either an 8.5 heavily juiced to the over, or a 9 heavily juiced to the under, depending on how you want to bet it. From a money line spot here, sorry, let me just move this over. I gotta keep these two sheets up. Here from a money line spot, we have less of a move to Gallen as one might have expected. We have the Diamondbacks opening up minus 155 and now minus 134. So 21 cents of movement towards St. Louis Cardinals. So we have a big move to the Cardinals. And a very slight move to the over. We take a look at the cash flow here. We have 45% of the tickets and 69% of the cash on the over. And on the money line, we have 71% of the tickets and 83% of cash on the Cardinals. That's a lot of money on the Cardinals. Wow. TJ says price is wrong here. He betted at plus 144. He was shocked. He says fair lines plus 110. Talk Sports with JT's moving on that Nerfy in Seattle, Minnesota. Wow, this is pretty wild. So a huge move to the Cardinals. Sancho is leaning towards the D-backs. Eric Jones looking at the cards. Flaherty's last start, 4-3 loss to the Cubs. He didn't look very good. I thought he was going to be much better in that spot. 4 earned runs over 6 innings. On the road, he's got a 3.55 ERA. He's being able to keep damage down. Only allowed 6 home runs over 63 in the third, but the opponents are hitting 289 against him. And Zach Allen looked awesome at the Braves. I know it was a 7-5 loss, but he went toe-to-toe with Spencer Strider. We moved live during our show on the over, and we all cashed it, but these two starters were excellent, and Gallen was excellent, and he kind of got over some of the road issues he's had. At home, he's lights out. I mean, we're talking better than Zach Eflin. There's no pitcher at home this year. Maybe Cobb's numbers are like comparison, but 9-0, 1.48 ERA, 76 Ks, 9 walks, 3 home runs allowed over 67 innings, and a 198 opponent's batting average. Cardinals are ripping the ball though, 288, 18 OPS since July 1st. Diamondbacks 237, 728. And both bullpens have been really bad. Take it away for and the TJ said I would not count that last start against Flaherty. His xFIP was 3.67, right on par with the last 4 or 5 starts. Take it away for us here, Doc. Cardinals, Diamondbacks.
Yeah. Flaherty's been a bright spot for these guys, especially of late. Little different numbers on the road, like you said, but he's able to control the damage. I think Gallen, like you said, arguably the best pitcher in MLB at home. Next to Eflin. So I went back and forth on this a few different ways, but I know Gallen's numbers are pretty good at home, so I wanted to get involved with him some way versus the Cardinals. They've had their offensive struggles, but they are better of late. So I was looking at the K prop on him. Let me get an update on his numbers here. Let me see what we got here on Zach's numbers at home.
While you're grabbing that, Billy Brisbane is on Gallen over 17.5 outs.
Yeah. So I mean he's north of. He's north of 1K, per at home. I'm getting a pretty decent number. Well, actually, no. So he'd have to go 7 for me to cash out on that one there at a plus 110. So 6.5 is his number. And Flaherty's sitting at over 5.5 at plus 125. That's pretty enticing too, actually, if you look at Flaherty. So You know what? I might take a pop with Flaherty here because he's been pitching well, even though his numbers are a little bit better. But I still like his K numbers, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to take, and this was off the cuff on this one for me, so I'm going to go with Flaherty over 5.5 Ks against that pretty good lineup that Arizona has, plus 125.
Nice big plus number for you, Flaherty over 5.5 Ks.
Yeah, I need more plus numbers in my life right now, man. I need them.
TJ says Gallen's name is carrying too much weight here. I'm telling you all, starting pitching is a wash. And St.
I
Louis
like that the market's gone that way, and maybe a little bit too much, maybe too pricey for the D-backs on at home here. But I think Flaherty's going to have to participate for that number to kind of equal itself out. So I'll take that 5.5 K spot for Flaherty.
Mike M looking at the Nerfy here in this one. Wow. Yeah, I get it. I get it. Right now, plus 125 on the cards is probably a pretty nice price. It's probably a pretty nice price. Justin McElvey just moved on Diamondbacks and Rays. And Joe Yerger says full game total is too low given the bullpens. First 5 total too high given the starting pitching. Huh. That's an interesting way of putting it. I feel like the cards are probably the spot here. I just don't want to fade Gallen. I know that we're high volume gamblers and that it's probably the right move here if you're going to make 500 to 1,000 bets over the year to take the Cardinals at a plus price here with Flaherty going up against Gallen. I just don't know if I'm going to do it, but I will put cards question mark here and sit with it a little longer. All right, let's move on. Markel feeling the same way. And I've got a ton of action, and we got a bunch of games popping off right this second. So we have Marlins, Rays, Rockies, Nationals up. Rockies, Nationals is the one I will be. Well, I don't think Rays' first pitch has been thrown yet, but we have the first out of the game made here. I think Irvin has a nice start here. I love the cap that we did together. Hopefully it pays out for us. Professor Chris says, but by my numbers, he'd need St. Louis to be plus 157 here. All right, so let's move on. Let's move on to 4:10 p.m. Eastern. God damn, I'm having fun with this Blue Jays Dodgers series. Yesterday went beautifully for me. Now, my first 5 under 5 pushed, but after it was 1-1 after the first inning, I moved on the first 5 under 5.5. And then as soon as that cashed, I immediately put that plus 160 on the Dodgers. And it was great. It just worked out, and it was very, very, very enjoyable. And I like the way the Blue Jays are playing the Dodgers. They're playing them tough. Mike M says over, and I wanted the over. And Wine Time says one of his plays today is Blue Jays money line at plus 105. I wanted the over. I just could not explain. Okay, so it opened up at 9.5, and it lasted there for a minute. So I've got the money line up. So why don't we just touch on the money line before we move on to the total? But the money line, this opened up with Toronto plus 119. They're now plus 113. They got down to plus 107. But we have, a slight move towards Toronto. And, Gonsolin just hasn't looked good. And he hasn't looked anything like he has earlier in his career when he was so dominant and so good at home. So that's the first part, is I don't trust Gonsolin, and I don't really trust Kikuchi. We finally have some movement. 1 cent. We have 1 cent move. It's moved 1 cent since the show started. So I just don't understand why it isn't more. And my honest feeling is that there's got to be a bat out of the lineup. There just has to be for this move not to have happened yet. And what if we get there and we see 2 weak lineups on a travel day? What if you get there and there's no Freeman or there's no Vladdy? So I want to wait as long as possible here because I still think I would love it if the 10 could be a win. And so I want the over with you guys, but I'm going to wait until the lineups are announced. I just have this feeling that there's a bat missing, or why would this not be moving closer to the over? 57% of tickets, 55% of the cash on the Jays. 73% of the tickets, 73% of cash on the over. That's been there the whole time. It's been between 73 and 80 the whole time. So why would the market not be climbing faster? Why would there be, no juice betting the over 10. Kikuchi 3.92 ERA, 1.27 WHIP. His last start was beautiful, but it was at the Mariners, and the team he started his Major League Baseball career with, and he cared a lot. Now, obviously, you care about playing in Chavez Ravine. On the road, he's got a 4.11 ERA, opponents hitting 278 against him, and he's allowed 13 home runs in 57 innings on the road. Gonsolin does not look very good, coming off the 11-5 win at the Rangers. No thanks to him, 4 runs over 5 innings. At home now, he's got a 4.38 ERA. I mean, I don't remember him ever having a number like that. Jays first righty since July 1st, 248, 743. Dodgers 236, 750. This Dodgers bullpen has been very, very good. Billy Friedrich, be well, my man. Be well, and we will talk soon. And Joe says, look at this weather. So I saw the way Ballpark Pal had Dodger Stadium at plus 25% home runs, plus 7% runs. We know how hot it is in the Pacific West Coast right now. So that would make anybody want to bet the over. 90 Fahrenheit. When is it 90 Fahrenheit at Chavez Ravine? 8.8 miles per hour out to right field, gets up to 10.1. But still, Ferez says Blue Jays will be so down after yesterday's fiasco in the 9th. There's only a couple pitchers that can be trusted. And the fact that Schneider would put in Mitch White, he deserves to lose. There's consequences to actions. And if you're going to put in Mitch White, because it's just, what bothers me is when people start having feelings. And this is a business. And who cares? You think what, Mitch White's going to step up because it's against his former team when he's been the worst pitcher in our organization? I mean, it's a fucking dream world that Schneider's living in. And if you live in a fucking dream world, you're going to fucking lose. Take it away, Doc. Blue Jays, Dodgers.
Yeah, definitely feels like an over again here. But like you say, if you're going to bet it, we don't have the confirmed lineups yet. We got, the prospective lineups. So we know Kikuchi has he's pitching decent, Jimmy. His numbers are good. Gonsolin, I can see it. If you look at the markets, I think on the money on the dollars and cents and the ticket count, I think there's more tickets than money on Toronto. Is that what you got on your look there?
Yeah, slightly more tickets, more money. Yeah,
that makes sense there. The over, I'm not completely sold on yet. I know both of the other 2 games have gone over. It feels like an over. And, what's the money count on the over?
It's 73% of the tickets, 73% of the cash. It's been between 73 and 83 since it started.
A little bit of public, a little bit of, I don't know if you call it sharp going that way yet. So I would lean Toronto's way. I know Bichette finally snapped out of his he had a big game last night coming out of his slump there. I think he was like 0 for 18 going into last night. He kind of had a big game. That's how he does it, though. When he hits big. We get that same effort out of him tonight. With the rest of the bats, like you said, Vladdy, it could be one of these games where, like you said, just do they rest the guys, after 2 big nights. So I don't know. I couldn't come to a decision on this spot here. I want to lean over, but then again, I want to see the lineups like you. So, and I think it feels like a Toronto spot here. That really does. But I've been snake bitten with this team all season. I still haven't come out of my funk with them. So it's gonna be a pass for me.
Oh, they're just a team that will just rip your beating heart out of your chest here. Joe Yerf says Dodgers game being going over even without this kind of weather. Yes, Irvin is through the top of the first. Both squads are through the top of the first. Eflin got through very easily. Irvin had some issues. But we're in business there. Absolute business. Wine Time says, as much as the Angels need the Blue Jays to lose, there's so much value with the Blue Jays today at plus 105. And Ryan C saying...
it would have to be Blue Jays or pass. And I'd hold off on a total, but to me, it's more of a Blue Jay spot.
Look, I'm going to be all over this game today. Whether I'm going to expect a live bet it after. I find the Blue Jays very predictable. When Jay Jackson is our best reliever right now, and he's got a son in the ICU. Was born 15 weeks early, so after every spot he flies to go see his son whenever they're like, you're gonna have a day or two. I believe it's in Colorado, so he's been flying to Colorado back. He's been flying all over the place, and he's pitching lights out right now. You can just tell that there's something. He's just locked in like he's ever been before. And then we need Romano healthy. I know Romano can have issues, but he is an all-star, and so both those guys are ready to go here today. So, but but the bullpen is very questionable here, and the Dodgers bullpen since July 1st being the best in baseball. So look, I want the over 10. But I just feel like something's up, man. I feel like something's up. This should be juiced to the over. Everybody's been betting the over. The 9.5 went to 10 in 1 minute, and then the 10 is not juiced to the over, and it hasn't been juiced to the over. And so I'm just waiting here. There's Noli Nose in the house saying go Dodgers. It's going to be, God, this baseball season is going to be so much fun as we move forward into the fall. Let's move on. 4:10 p.m. Eastern, Pittsburgh Pirates 44-57, 21-31 on the road at the San Diego Padres 49-53, 26-24 at home at Petco Park in San Diego, California. Talked about the heat wave in the Pacific Northwest, even battling through the marine layer in San Diego. 76 Fahrenheit, 8.5 miles per hour, left to right, slightly out, stays between 8.5 and 8.8, out to right field. And Petco plus 4% home runs, minus 7% runs today. So, and TJ says 3 of Dodgers' top 4 bullpen arms have thrown back-to-back. Yeah, the Dodgers are in a tougher spot now than the Jays. But, God, let's just let Schneider just be our fucking batting practice coach and have Mattingly make all the important decisions. Let's talk about this Pirates-Padres spot. We'll start with the total. Total opened up at 8.5, juice to the over. Oviedo does not look good. Is he dealing with arm fatigue? What the hell's going on with him? He does not look good. This opened up at 8.5. It dropped to 8 multiple times. At this point, we've had 6 cents of movement to the under 8.5. And from a money line perspective here, we have move over here. From a money line perspective, we have a big move to the Pittsburgh Pirates, a huge move. The Pirates have gone from, not as big as I thought, 16 cents from plus 189, plus 173. I thought that had been more. So 16 cents. So we have a move to the Pirates and a very slight move to the under. Take a look at the cash flow for this one. 88% of the tickets and 99% of the cash on the over. And, we have a slight move to the under. This is wild. 99% of the cash is on the over, and they've dropped it down to 8 a bunch of times. And then, of course, they've just been inundated with over money. That's wild. And then from a money line perspective, 56% of the tickets and 98% of the cash on the Pirates, which is also wild. Rocco Rogers says no Soto today. And the Nats Nate saying the heat wave starting here in the Northeast for the next 3 days. TJ says rumors of rest for San Diego, though I don't know what they are resting from. They certainly haven't shown up on the field. Oviedo did not look good in that 8-5 loss at the Angels. Now he's got back-to-back road starts. He's been bad on the road. Allowed 8 home runs over 51 in the third with a 5.26 ERA, 261 opponent's batting average. And Seth Lugo has been good this year. He's been better on the road than at home for whatever reason. But he's been good this year. Coming off a 5-4 win at the Tigers, quality start. Pirates rating just 211, 657 OPS versus righties. Padres 253, 826. Padres bullpen is not being good. Gagnon says, got to take a couple Padres home run props against Oviedo today. Cash with Soto and Kim. Stack guess they might roll with Soto and Kim today. But Soto's not going to be in the lineup, Gagnon, is what we've been told. And there we go. The Nerfy cashes it. Mike M on the board with the Nerfy. I love it. Take it away for us, Doc. Pirates, Padres.
Yeah, all the markets show Pittsburgh money here, and the head scratcher is the total. You look at Oviedo's numbers, it's like, you see this is a smash spot for the Padres, on the run line possibly, but missing pieces in the lineup, and the Pittsburgh, the market, all the bigger bets on Pittsburgh here. It's kind of off-putting for me. I wanted to play I really wanted to bet the team total for the Padres here initially, but this is a team I can't trust either, with their bats. They're supposed to smash and they don't. And the Pirates, they're scrappy. They play scrappy baseball, and it's never you can never count the Pirates out. Because they've got that kind of team. They just go out and they play, day in, day out. So it's a team I like to back when they're a dog. Not today though. I don't trust Oviedo enough to kind of get behind them, and then I don't trust the Padres lineup today either. So I wanted to bet a team total on with the Pods, but I'm going to be off of that. And then the markets put me off with Pittsburgh too. So I'm getting a lot of mixed signals here in this game. So it's better just to pass and look at another opportunity for me here.
I agree. I mean, the only angle that would scream at me here is the under.
Yeah, the under. I mean, like you said, it's showing the bets and the money, little reverse line move on the under. You think?
Oh yeah, and when you got 99% of the cash on the over, and they still drop it down to 8 intermittently throughout the day.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't want to make a bet solely based on the market, because that's sort of what it would be, because I don't trust Oviedo right now. But here, definitely. I mean, even at Penny, so Penny moved it to 8 at 9:17. They kept it there for an hour 45 minutes. So I guess when they put it back to 8.5, they're like, okay, I guess we have enough bet on the over.
But
I mean,
you're telling you he's going to have a good outing though, right? With the numbers and the market backing him and stuff like that, and then the line, going the other way with the total. So it almost tells you something.
It sure does. No, it sure does.
Look into it.
Look at this. This total, this first 5 total was at 5. They've dropped it to 4.5.
Yeah.
Now
if you're concerned about the lineup and you can put a little trust in Oviedo. I mean, he had 10 Ks his last out, right? 10 strikeouts. His K prop is sitting at 4.5 at plus 100.
And look, the last 9 times for Troy, that 80% of the money's on the over, but the market moves to the under. The over is 6-3. Wow. Okay. Piker says, I capped this at San Diego minus 185. I think we're seeing market correction. Not sure if he wants Pittsburgh, though. Wow, that's wildly interesting. I don't want to. I would certainly bet the under, though. I would bet the under almost immediately, just based on all this info. I mean, look, this is crazy. I mean, it's just nuts. You have all of the money on the over, and the books keep making it more appealing. How do you not?
Before we get away from this, let me look at something here.
All right. Okay, so Pirates, Padres. I'm just going to leave this first 5 under as a question mark. And again, summertime and the kids are at home, and I apologize for the everything. How much do you hear of the kids, by the way? Do you hear that much, Doc?
What's that, buddy?
How much do you hear of my son crying?
I don't hear a lot.
Okay, all right, that makes me feel better. Okay, I'll try to stay focused.
Hey, I'm gonna take a stab in this game.
All right.
I don't trust Oviedo, but I think he's good enough to get. I was looking at his K numbers; they look pretty good actually. Even though his record's not that great, his K numbers are pretty solid. He's been logging. Let's see, his last 5. He's been getting like 6 innings, and he's been getting roughly right around a K an inning. So I mean, it's going to be close. It's going to be a nail biter, but he's sitting at 4.5. And is at plus 100. So, and then with not sure about that Padres lineup going in, generating a lot of offense and the numbers leaning towards the under, I think it's doable here. So I'm going to take Oviedo at plus 100 at 4.5 Ks.
Oviedo over 4.5 Ks at plus 100. All right, let's keep rolling. Sweetheart, please, I'm in the middle of the show, okay? Do you want to say a quick hello? Okay, hurry. Come on. We're working on it. I don't have a lock on my door yet. You gonna wish everybody good luck?
Good luck, Cap.
There's Ella.
Good guys.
Okay.
Bye.
Okay, see you later. You gotta go. I don't know where your Play-Doh is. Come on, go. Close the door, please, Ella. Come on, I gotta focus. Close the door. Thank you. Oh, yes, you're right. Okay. All right, let's roll on. Oviedo over 4.5 Ks at plus 100. And I'm going to keep this first 5 under 5 with question marks here. Interested in it. Let's move on to 6:05 p.m. and we arrive at the spreadsheet play of the day. Baltimore Orioles at Philadelphia Phillies. Spreadsheet play of the day is the Baltimore Orioles. Obviously, I need this Orioles future to cash badly with the season that I'm having. And it makes me really nervous that the Rays are still the favorites in the division, even before yesterday's loss of a game for the Orioles. It makes me really nervous because even when the Guardians got ahead of the Twins were still favorites to win that division because of their schedule. And I'm just nervous. Like, this is all too good to be true. I want Kyle Bradish. I want him badly against Ranger Suarez. Oh, no, 2-0 Colorado. Shit. Sorry, I'll move over here. 2-0 Colorado. And we also have 1-0 Marlins. This is not what I wanted to see here. Fly White Mike says, "Are you going to hedge any on the Rays?" I need to watch it more. Let me just keep an eye on it right now. I didn't really see what was going on. And Eflin coming off that great start kind of makes me a little nervous. I'm going to watch it and let you guys know here. But back to this spot: Orioles, Philly, Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Look, I wanted the Orioles with you guys, and it's just tough with this market. Let's start with the total here, and then we'll get into the side. For the total here, we're sitting at 9.5. This opened at Pinnacle at 9. It opened at at BetOnline and Pinnacle at 9. The first move was towards the under, but now we've got this half-run move up, so we're at 9.5. From a money line standpoint, here we have the Phillies opening up at minus 104. All the books are all over the place here. They opened up at Pinnacle minus 111 for the Phillies, and now they're minus 108. So 3 cents of movement towards the Orioles. I like that. But I've told you guys, I think this is also telling my bookie, is not my personal bookie, but the site my bookie is at minus 116 for the Phillies. They opened it at minus 120. So everything moving slightly back towards the Orioles, I do find appealing, and maybe I should just jump with you guys. But it's a public spot. 75% of the tickets are on the Orioles, just 40% of the cash. Makes me nervous. That's been around all day. And then 71% of tickets, 60% of cash on the under, and yet it's gone towards the over. It's now 2-0 Marlins. God damn, I don't like this. So Bradish, last start, 3-0 loss at the Rays. He looked good. 6 innings, 2 earned runs. He's pitching very well. He pitches well on the road. Now he's back-to-back road starts. He only allowed 4 jacks over 48 in the third. You have Ranger Suarez coming off a 6-5 loss at the Guardians. The Orioles are smashing lefties, and Suarez is being bad at home, really bad at home. And both bullpens are pitching quite well. I guess the more I talk about it, the more interest I have in the Orioles. Let's hear what you have to say, Doc. Take it away. Orioles, Phillies.
I say this every time I get on your show. The Orioles are the best run line team in Major League Baseball, but you got to run with them all year round to do it. Now, today I'm going to spot play the O's here because I think we've seen a lot of late inning heroics in both in these games so far with both of these teams, and I think it's going to come down to the bullpens later on, and I definitely know that Baltimore has one of the best bullpen, if not the best bullpen in baseball, all around. So I'm just going to rely on some early bats here, and then the O's to hold them down late, and then pull ahead, and maybe a little bit later on if they don't already have a lead. So I like to look at the run line here of the O's, at a nice number here. So I think I'm looking at like minus 1.5 plus 160.
Yes, let's see what your options are on the Orioles run line. Let me pull up Pinnacle and Bet365 and see what they're going to offer you on the alternate line. We have, let's go over here first. So the Orioles minus 1.5 is plus 154 at Pinnacle. And then let's see what they'll offer you over at Bet365. There was a time when Bet365 gave the best reverse alternate lines in the game, and then that stopped quickly when we made so much money off the Coors Field fade. Here we have main props, the minus 1.5 on the Orioles, plus 145. So, yes, plus 154 is the best we can give you.
That's fine.
All right.
I was going to say, I know it's alternate. I said run line, but I meant alternate run line in this spot.
-1.5 at +154 here. -1.5 at +154. I'm going to keep an eye on this. I feel like with the way the Orioles are hitting lefties and losing last game, and I feel like they should be good. It is a public spot.
Yeah, it is. Look for live betting opportunities in this game too.
Yeah, I'm interested though. I'm gonna put Orioles here with a bunch of asterisks and one question mark. Ragoo moves on the Orioles -1.5 at +154, and Ron Crawford's spreadsheet play of the day is the Baltimore Orioles. All right, Sandy Alcantara looking locked in here with the score 2-0 in the Rockies Nats game. You're not really getting a nice price on the Rockies. You're not really getting a nice price on the Dogs. I guess it's a little too early in the game. +160 on the Rays and +145 on the Nats. All right, let's roll on. Let's roll on here. And by the way, the spreadsheet play today 31-25, 55.4% +5.49 units, ROI +9.80%, and average lines -103. Okay, let's keep rolling. We've got a lot of action here. I'd maybe get in live. The only thing I'd probably want to get in live on, I haven't been watching. I've got the Rays game up. I really feel it's so important to be watching the game so closely when you live bet. That's why my new decision on Monday nights because we're live betting all the baseball games is that I'm only going to bet Assiniboia. So there's going to be no horse racing until 8:30 p.m. Eastern. So the first 2.5 hours will just be all focus, all baseball, and then we'll bring in the horse racing. Okay, let's roll on. Next up for us was a bet I came so close to making. And that's the under in the Angels-Tigers game at Comerica Park in Detroit, Michigan. And about as close as I can come without betting something. I just couldn't understand why the market wasn't moving in this direction. So let's talk about it. We'll start with the weather in Detroit. We have rain and light rain throughout the game. Does Roto Wire think this game will go? Let me just see. I guess they do. Yeah, they think this game will go. But 42% rain. This rain is an issue. Maybe I needed to talk about it a little bit more. That rain is a problem. Let's see what Ballpark Pal expects of a Comerica here. A -5% homers and -2% runs. Sandoval, 5-7, 4.16 ERA, 1.41 whip. He's not been very good this year, but he looked excellent in his last start. 5-1 win at home. Over 7 1/3, just 1 earned run, solo shot, 2 hits against the Yankees. On the road, he's been good all year. 226 opponents batting average. He's only allowed 2 jacks over 45 2/3. And then you have Michael Lorenzen. Look, I love the signing. It was more expensive than people thought he would be. I told you that he was better than his numbers indicate. That's why they signed him, and he made the All-Star game. I think he's being bet on, coming off a 3-0 win at the Royals. So at home, he's got a 256 opponent's batting average, 3.78 ERA. Angels rating 233, 751 versus righties. Tigers 242, 683 versus lefties. And both bullpens have been really bad. They've been really bad. And so then, by the way, Professor Chris says Angels all day. LA money line should be -140. Run line should be +132. He bet them both. Andrew says -110 both ways. This game is tight. Wine Time says this game might be ugly with this rain. I can't make a move on it because please, Ella. Okay, you gotta talk to mom. I'm working. God, I gotta get this locked on. Okay, I can't trust here these bullpens. They're trash, and so it would only be a first 5 under. And now with the rain, what if you put money on the under and there's a break in it? I just can't. I guess I have to just stay off of this game. Let's just go back to the line history and the cash flow. There's been a move toward a very, very, very slight move towards the Angels, 3 cents of movement towards the Angels. And from a total perspective, this has gone it's not moved. I mean, this has just been sitting here at a pick'em. So we've had a 3 cent move to the over. I think rain's got to be a big part of why this isn't moving to the under, and I probably should have figured that out earlier. It's 50-50 on the total, but 59% of cash is on the over. And from a money line look, 61% of the tickets and 95% of the cash are on the Tigers. I mean, that's crazy. That's crazy here. Take it away for us, Doc. Angels, Tigers.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely feels like an under here, an under spot. But one thing in the majors you can't do is give up a ton of walks, and that's what I think Sandoval's walk to K ratio is pretty high. You know, and there's a shit ton of money on the Tigers, the ticket count and the strong money on the Tigers here. So I mean, I don't hate the A's. I mean the Angels backers here, but and Lorenzen is decent. You know, he was definitely a good signing for them. Like you said, all-star caliber. He made the all-star game. So I don't know, this game was kind of a little bit off-putting to me as far as getting on the side. But I did like the total. But then again, I'm worried about Sandoval. That's the only thing put me off there is like his walk to K ratio. I mean, he logs good numbers, but just at the same time, you know, he's very vulnerable on the walk side. So I was going to look at maybe a prop on the bases here against him, but I'm going to pass on this spot totally. I'm going to be off. I'm not going to get involved.
I'm going to be off as well. The weather is an issue. Let's move on. 7 p.m. Eastern, the Atlanta Braves, 64-35, 32-16 on the road at the Boston Red Sox, 54-47, 29-23 at home. We're at Fenway Park in Boston, Massachusetts. And what a call by Jose Bouquet backing his Red Sox yesterday in a very big win. Very nice, no sweat win. I can't wait to hear his thoughts on Bello bounce back opportunity after the loss at the A's going up against Spencer Strider. I'm very, very interested in this breakdown. So please, without further ado, let's welcome the star of Say Hey Plays of the day, Jose Bouquet, to the show. By the way, Justin McElvey did move 50 on the Rays to plus 148 here. Jose, how are you? Back-to-back very strong days. I like what you are doing. How are you?
Doing well, just trying to avoid getting pissed drunk on a Thursday afternoon next week, perhaps. But it'll be fun either way. And like it or not, we're back here again with the Red Sox. It'll be a fun one.
Interesting. Well, let's just set the quick table here because I really want to hear your thoughts on the Bello bounce back spot. So let's just get to the weather here. At Fenway, 82 Fahrenheit, 8.4 miles per hour out, gets down to 6.6. We have the expectation of offense very high here, plus 7% home runs, plus 21% doubles and triples, plus 9% singles, plus 19% runs. Let's move over to the line history here. We'll start with the money line. Bello and the Red Sox opened up at plus 142 at Bet Online. They opened up at plus 141 here at Pinnacle, and they're now at plus 151. So the Braves have gone from minus 153 to minus 165. So 12 cents of movement on the Atlanta Braves. 12 cents of movement on the Braves. And here we have this total. This total has shot up. Opened up at 9.5 last night, 8:51 p.m., and it got to 10 at 11:36. Interestingly enough, dropped right back to 9.5. It's now back at 10. Spencer Strider is really tough for underbettors. Look, he's great for K-prop bettors, but for underbettors, you'll be sitting there going, "Oh my God, he's dominant. He's the best pitcher I've seen since Doc Gooden." And then when he gets barreled up, it goes out. And he was spectacular in the first 5 innings of that last start at home versus Arizona. But he ends up allowing 4 and runs over 6, strikes out 13. On the road, he's been very good this year. 2.94 ERA, 221 opponent's batting average. And then Bello was extremely angry after that A's game. He did not pitch well. 4 innings, 6 earned runs, 3 homers. He was extremely upset. He's been great at home this year. 3.14 ERA, 245 opponent's batting average. Both these young superstar pitchers know that all eyes will be on this pitching matchup, and they got to be excited to be going up against each other. Both teams are hitting righties hard, but no one as hard as the Red Sox. 297, 852 OPS. Red Sox bullpen all of a sudden pitching very, very, very well. TJ, my man, we will not forget gift number 2 is Cubs White Sox first 5 over 4.5. Shit, 3-0 Rockies, not good. Shit. Thank you, TJ, for the second gift. Take it away, Jose. Spencer Strider, Brian Bayo, and don't call Bayo your baby boy.
That's different. That's gonna be a tough one. I might as well draw all the cards there. Shout out to memes. Yeah, I'm on the Red Sox again, and I said it yesterday, and I'll say it again. The Red Sox are playing, and Alex Cora is managing these games as if they're playoff games, they're must-wins games, because Chaim Bloom management doesn't know what they're going to do during the trade deadline. They don't know if they're going to sell, they don't know if they're going to buy, et cetera, et cetera. And they said, and they told the players, they told Chaim Bloom that, they told Alex Cora that it'll just depend on these next couple of weeks before the trade deadline to see how you do. Now they got smacked in the face by the fucking Oakland A's to wake up, but they've just been really good, and it's been nice to see everyone's getting healthy. Jimmy, I told you that this bullpen was going to be very good to begin the season, or like in the beginning of the season. Now we're getting healthy again. The bullpen's coming back together. Nick Penvetta is a beast. John Schreiber, who I've been trying to learn how to say his name for fucking 3 years now, it seems. He's back, and he's going to pitch well. So I'm excited about this Red Sox team. Now, Brian Bayo specifically, first of all, 2 congratulations, actually. 1, congratulations to Big Show. Congrats on the sex, Big Show. He's having a kid, and he's having a boy. Brian Bayo having a kid. That's real life, yes. Wow. Big Show. Yeah, Big Show.
That's great news. I didn't know that. When was that announced?
I think it was yesterday on Twitter. So shout out to Big Show.
Nice.
But so Big Show and Brian Bayo, well, I guess Brian Bayo already a dad, Big Show going to be one. I can see him his, mind not being all the way in it when you're about to have a kid. You're a young boy, young man, and you face the Oakland A's, the worst team in baseball. I can see why your focus isn't 100% there. But until you have a child, you wouldn't know what that experience is like. So I think he pitches well here today. I like the home Red Sox's dogs here. Obviously, the Braves are extremely scary. But I think Brian Bayo is that fucking dude. He's the best pitcher on the Red Sox. And like you said, Jimmy, when Spencer Strider gets barreled up, it goes far. So I can't wait to see that. Alfred, I just went 6 to midnight reading that comment, so thank you very much.
So you are moving on the Red Sox full game here.
Yep, full game money line. I got it at plus 144 at our friends at Bet Online.
Plus 144. Let's hear what Doc has to say about this spot. Marquee pitching matchup between Strider and Bayo. Doc, take it away, Braves, Red Sox.
Yeah, usually when Jose and I agree on a game, we're usually pretty good. And I tend to, we know Spencer's been fucking lights out. He's like I think he just set like an MLB record for Ks and a 40-game career stretch. So congratulations to him on that. But today we're going to be cheering up against you, Strider, as far as wins and losses go. But I do agree that the bullpen is a lot better for Boston. But I'm gonna go with a first 5 look here for Bayo on the money line with the Red Sox. I think when he does get touched up, I leaned under initially, but I think we'll see runs later in the game. I'm not going to get involved with the under here. I'm going to be on the side for Boston. Now, Jose, do you like Boston on the first 5, or you like them full game better?
I would rather have them full game because the Braves bullpen is, shaky.
Yeah,
it's not the best bullpen ever created. So, like a bullpen advantage, give me the Red Sox here.
I think last time Bayo faced him, he was pretty successful, wasn't he? Like early on too, he had a pretty solid game against the Braves last time out.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, Ragoo, it's been very interesting to watch this team just kind of grow up in front of me. It's been very fun to watch. But I'll speak recklessly here, Ragoo, as I bring up Bayo's last start against the Braves. It was 6 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned runs off a home run, 5 Ks, 1 walk. That was at the Braves as well. So that's very exciting stuff there. I hope he pitches well. But Ragoo, you've probably heard me say this. I've said many times I don't think the Rangers are going to make the playoffs. I think they lose the division to the Astros. I said they're going to lose this series in a sweep. Hopefully they do today. But I have now gotten to the point with my Boston Red Sox that I think they're going to make the playoffs. And it's going to be very, very, poetic for me that I think the Boston Red Sox will take out the Texas Rangers in the playoffs this year. They're only a game and a half back, No, that's not even right. A game and a half, yeah, against the Blue Jays. And I think the Rangers lose their division and get into the muck that is this wild card race. So I'm very excited now. I'm bought all the way in on the Red Sox. I have their to make the playoff tickets at plus 300, so I'm very excited about that. But it's going to be a lot of fun watching this Red Sox team cook here. So I'm on full game money line, like I mentioned earlier, Jim, and I think the Red Sox make the playoffs over the Rangers this year.
Ragoo, are you on the first five?
Yeah, I'm going to do the first five. See what you get me. I got plus 140, but if you can get better for show purposes, give me the over. If you can get better than that.
Let's see what we can get you on the first.
Yeah, I think we see another good effort. Like you said, not a one-off, but the A's, he comes back. The Braves are the most dangerous team in baseball. That lineup is sick, but I think Bayo can hold them down here at home. And I think Boston's one of those teams that, kind of like they don't play them often, but when they match up well with them. So this is a good spot for the Beantown boys to take the short series home.
A plus 150 at
150.
Yeah, 149 at Pinnacle, 150 at Will Hill.
I'm on the Bean Kids plus 150. First five.
And the cash flow, I just want to see this again. 23% of the tickets, 70% of the cash on the Boston Red Sox. Wow. 66 and 68 on the over. Wow.
I was thinking about taking a half a run, but I said, you know what? Let me get them. Let me get the money line because I think I get a plus number on a half run too. But
wow. Okay.
I'm not going to chase. I'm not going to split them up. I did one split so far. So far, I'm losing that fucking bet. Right with Eflin.
I'm interested in.
Is Tampa down 2-0 still?
It's 2-1.
2-1. All right.
It is 2-1 in the top of the fourth inning, and goddamn, this Nats spot is not Irvin not looking good. It's 3-0 Rocky. We got to get out of this inning. It's big trouble in Little China over there, man. But there's 2 out here and 2 strikes. If we can just get this done for it, God damn it. You just move past this here, please. So we need to get out of this inning, or I'm going to be. Billy Brisbane says Bayo off of paternity leave, and you spoke about that, Jose.
Yeah, with Big Show.
Yeah.
That's what I congratulated both on the sex.
Yeah, congratulations to Big Show. I was muted before. So, congratulations.
Is Big Show in the chat?
I don't think so. No, he's probably
wherever he is. When he goes back and watches it.
All right.
He's going to be a boy, too, by the way. So, shout out to him.
Okay, so Eflin's got 3 Ks right now. So, let's fucking get some more Ks.
All right, and Andrew called the Rockies. Great call, Andrew. Cover King says Red Sox are trash. But Mike M is on Devers' ribeye play of the day. So let me get that right here. Let me pop that in.
By the way, Jim, I was really disappointed that your guy didn't comment anything else in the chat earlier. You know who we're talking about.
No, that was a different guy.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. I know. That was a different guy. No, I know. I know there's that one dude has been doing this for 6 years, so I know exactly. He doesn't have a way with words. The guy in here today with that one off, I could tell it was a little more poetic. His vocabulary was a little stronger.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Yeah, I was really disappointed not to see a couple more of those.
I'm not. But it wasn't enough to bounce, and it wasn't that guy. So okay.
We're bouncing love again, Jimmy. We're bouncing love.
No. But I'm interested in that Red Sox first 5. With you guys. And it's not because I don't agree that the Red Sox bullpen's pitching very well. It's more that I'd rather cut the game down against this Braves offense. But all right, let's move on. Jose, Red Sox plus 144. Ragoo, Red Sox first 5 plus 150. Mike M, Devers, the ribeye play of the day at plus 160. And I'm interested in that Red Sox first 5 with you guys. All right, let's go towards the Subway Series. Doc, I know this is a series near and dear to your heart. By the way, Irvin did get out of that inning, but now Eflin has 2 runners on with none out in the top of the 4th. Nothing is easy here. Nothing is easy. All right, let's move on. Quintana going up against Carlos Rodon. Rodon has not looked good in his 3 starts this season, throwing 14 and 2/3, 11 strikeouts and 9 walks, allowed 4 jacks, coming off a 7-3 loss at the Angels. Now, this should be an opportunity for him as the Mets are not hitting lefties at all, 201, 590. Going up against Quintana, who weaved his magic yet again. We talked about the outliers in his statistics and reasons why we thought he wouldn't be as good as he was last year and how he had a lot of luck on his side. But, that first start wasn't bad. I mean, it was a 6-2 loss at home, but he went 5 innings, allowed 2 earned runs, 3 Ks, didn't walk a batter. And the Yankees are hitting lefties hard right now. The Yankees bullpen has not looked good since July 1st. Mike M says New York Mets 2-15 straight up, 0-17 run line versus non-division lefties. Wow. This should be the spot for Rodon, but can you trust him here after what you've seen from him? I mean, we know how elite he's supposed to be. He's certainly not being it. 83 Fahrenheit, 9.2 miles right to left, exactly right to left across the diamond, 9.2 to 8.2. Then we'll go over to Ballpark Pal, and they have Yankee Stadium plus 21% home runs, but just plus 6% runs. Go over to the line history for these spots. We'll start with the money line. The money line here. Oh, shoot. Sorry, I'm on first 5. My bad. Let me just move over to full game. While that's changing, I'll just do the total. The total here for Yankees Mets opened up at 9 at BetOnline, heavily juiced to the under. Same deal at Pinnacle, and it lasted there for 3 minutes before it went to 8.5. It got back up to 9. It moved back to 8.5 about just under an hour ago. That's the situation there. Then from a money line standpoint, here we go. For the Yankees Mets spot, we have these Yankees opening up at minus 145 at BetOnline. They opened up at minus 141 at Pinnacle. They're now minus 144. So a very slight move there. And then when we go to the cash flow here, 85% of the tickets, 62% of the cash on the over. And from a money line perspective, 37% of the tickets and 72% of the cash on the New York Yankees. Wow. This is interesting. Take it away, Doc. Both New York teams in play here for the Subway Series.
That's all New York money, whichever way you want to count it. On both the teams, right? But hey, I don't trust either one of these guys right now. I mean, I would trust Quintana a little bit more, coming back from the injury, after got his start, back out of the way. And the Yankees right now, man, it's just a hot mess over there. I mean, they got swept by the Royals, they're not moving runners across the base paths when they're on base, it's just really ugly baseball right now in New York. And in the Mets, it doesn't get any better their side of the plate, when against facing lefty. So I would put my trust in Quintana a little bit more than I would put in the Yankees. Then again, like I say, I don't trust the Mets. They're not hitting lefties at all. So, I mean, I get the underlook. I really do, believe it or not. Normally, I would say this type of game would scream over in my book, but I get the underlook here. But I'm going to pass on. I don't think there's any value on either side here to get to the window with. So I'm going to pass on this spot.
I think Vipe saying these early games are going to bury him. The early games are not looking good, but I think it's a live bet time on the full game under 9.5
for the Nets.
No, I'm staying away from that game. I don't trust the bullpen.
The Tampa Bay game. What's the score of the Nats game right now?
It's 3-0 Rockies, so we can still get to that under.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to move my first, but they've gone dark here. So what the hell just happened? Did the run score? Oh my god!
Hey, the Mets, they lost 19 of 26 games.
It's 6-1 Marlins now.
It's 6-1.
Jesus!
Holy shit! Wow!
Thank God I didn't. Oh,
that one's getting bombed, huh?
Oh, sorry, 5-1 Marlins. Wow! Oh, because it was I was lucky. because it was Eflin's getting destroyed. Jesus.
He won't get his K-prop, that means either.
Wow. All right. Okay. Back to this spot here with the Yankees. These Mets are just not hitting lefties. And is this a spot where we're getting a huge discount on Rodon, who's going to now get right against a team that's not hitting lefties? Or is Quintana just the wizardry that he's been dropping of late that makes no sense when you watch him pitch enough to keep you off?
I don't know. That's what I say. I would. That's why the under. If they both pitch to form the way they've been, or like Rodon getting right against lefties and Quintana keeping up what he's doing, then the under bodes well here. I would think, especially in the first 5 innings.
I just wish the market was moving towards the Mets. I'm just moving towards the Yankees. I'm gonna put Yankees with a question mark here. Okay.
What's the market say on the total, Jim?
So let me pull this up again. How is it here? How's this off there now, man? It's so annoying. Okay, the total has been moved. I believe it was slightly to the under, because it's gone from 9 to 8.5. But the 9 was very, very juiced to the under, and the 8. It's gone 8.5 to 9, 8.5 to 9, and the cash flow here is all over the over. 85% of the tickets are on the over. Yeah, it tells me the under's live.
So one of these guys is going to get bombed one way or the other. If the Mets are hitting at such a low rate against the lefties, then it tells you maybe that the Yankees maybe pop up today and get them.
I think I go right back to the well on that first 5 under that I cashed with yesterday. I do. I mean, if all this money is on the over and seems like there's some sharp action on the under. Yeah, Andrew G, it does. It does help my. Yeah, but still, I don't like it. We have the Royals-Guardians game and the Mariners-Twins game popping off. So, yes, the first 2 games have not gone the way we'd like them to. But still lots of action still to go here. That live total now at 10.5. Feels like the Rays are going to mail this in. I just don't want the Marlins to go off offensively when they've been so bad of late, which is very possible.
Fucking unreal.
Okay. That's 10.5 right now. 10.5. There is our guy, the nuke worker in the house.
So it's frustrating. Top flight pitcher, a team that ain't fucking hitting the ball worth the shit, and they racking them up.
Yeah, it's not.
That's baseball, though, man.
With almost all these bets I put in my Pinnacle account, I only have 1.5K in there. Makes me nervous. Okay, and was that just an error? Jeez. That's just ridiculous. Okay. All right, let's stay focused here. Next up, I really like that first 5 under now in Mets Yankees, and I expect to move on it. Let's move on to the Chicago Cubs at Chicago White Sox. We received the second gift from TJ, and that was the first 5 over 4.5 at -115. First 5 over 1.5 at -115 here from our guy TJ. Stroman versus Lance Lynn. We know what Lance Lynn's Achilles heel is, and it's lefties. We just watched in his last start, he went up against the Twins. Twins put 6 lefties in the lineup, and they smashed them. So what is the expectation of lefties here in this one? Let's see what they're going to drop here. The Cubbies, Bellinger, Tauchman, and Master Buoni. They have Happ as a switch hitter. That is not a good-looking group here. That means that Lance Lynn should be okay. Stroman cannot be trusted. DC Capper on the Cubs -110. Let's take a look at the weather and go from there. Deacon says Lynn gets hammered tonight. Gave up 6 runs and 4 homers in last start. But do you trust your lefties enough, Deacon? I mean, Bellinger's your hottest hitter, and you have Happ as a switch hitter. But you want it when when the Angels destroyed him earlier in the year, they put 9 lefties in that lineup. He's got a OPS over 1,000 against lefties, and you need to have hot hitting lefties in that lineup. Viper says 3-1 now, Colorado. That's not good. None of this is good. None of this is good. That 10.5 left really quickly in the Marlins Rays game. But back to this. Stroman versus Lance Lynn here at Wrigley. Let's talk. Oh, no, sorry. At what the hell? Guaranteed rate. It's 92 Fahrenheit. Feels like 101 at first pitch. Extremely hot. 9.4 miles per hour right to left, and then 6.6 miles per hour out. And then let's take a look at Ballpark Pals expectations here. We have plus 38% home runs, but minus 17% doubles and triples, plus 12% runs. Let's go to the line history. Then next up on the money line, we have almost no movement here. Feels like the market not sure what will happen either. The White Sox have gone from plus 105 to minus 102. And that move happened at 10 a.m. Up to that point, there'd been a slight move to the Cubs. So we have 7 cents of movement towards the White Sox. And on the total, we have opening up at 8.5 and moving to 9. It opened up at 8.5 and lasted there for 3 minutes. Another one of those. So we're sitting at 9 just down. So we have a move to the over. And now we have a move to the White Sox. When we take a look at the cash, we have 81% of the tickets and 69% of the cash on the over. A public betting the over, but some bigger bets on the under. And from a money line perspective, 26% of the tickets and 64% of the cash on the White Sox here. Remo says huge movement towards the White Sox. Alfred said Lynn looked amazing at the Braves. Cash plus 425 to record the win. Alfred, you know that Braves team so well. So Stroman, 10-7, 3.09 ERA, 1.14 WHIP. His last start, 7-2 loss at home versus Cards. He looked awful. 5 runs, 4 of which were earned over 3 2/3. But he's been great on the road all year. He's allowed just 2 home runs over 55 innings on the road. Lance Lynn coming off getting lit up and smoked at the Twins. He's been bad at home or on the road. But then the Cubs are hitting righties, 270, 778 OPS. Both bullpens have been bad, and the White Sox don't hit. Take it away for us here, Doc. Cubbies, White Sox.
Yeah, our guy Stroman, right? He's had some struggles with these White Sox. His numbers are good. He's been pretty decent all season long, but he's just had some career struggles with the Sox here, you know. So and then Lynn has got the number 1 ERA. He's the highest ERA pitcher in the league. And I'm just going to make this one really, really simple here. You know, I'm not going to go into a lot of different breakdowns and whatnot, but I think this crosstown rival is you're worried about the lefties that they're putting in their lineup, but I don't think it's really going to matter here because I think both teams will contribute runs here. And I know the numbers kind of climbed up just a little bit. I think it was juiced to the over, and then it's kind of hit 9. So I think I could still see a 5-4 type of game here. Is it going to be easy to get there? Probably not, but I think it gets there, and I gets there late, a little bit later than earlier here. So I think Stroman's going to give. We know the White Sox struggle. We know that the Cubs lineup is not the best to put the game over. So a lot of it doesn't make sense to me as far as that goes, but I still think it gets there no matter what. So I like the over here. And I think with Stroman struggles against the Sox, and then the high ERA for Lance Lynn, I think the game gets over here. So I think both numbers climb over 5 here. So I think we see double digits in the final here. So puts me on the over. I like the over 9 runs.
The over 9 at plus 100. You are locked in over 9 at even money. And the gift from TJ is the over first 5 over 4.5 at minus 115. Yeah, I get it. I find it wild that there's sharp action on the White Sox and seems somewhat sharp action. I mean, you know what? I don't know what these pitchers are going to do.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. And Joe Yurkovich has a good point with Sox are dead in the water and the Cubs still fighting. Deacon Mike says betting Bellinger home run prop a bet small. And Mike M says you have to keep betting Bellinger RBI plus 130. He's seen the ball better than most in July. Yeah, he's rolling right now. And Cover King's loving it, saying he's already on that. This is not going to be a move for me. I'm not in on this one. So let's roll on. Next up for us is Texas Rangers at the Houston Astros, Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas. Rangers 59-43, 25-23 on the road. The Astros 58-44, 27-22 at home. Minute Maid Park, we have Heaney going up against Framber Valdez, and Valdez has not looked very good his last couple starts, but god damn is he been good at home. He's been so good at home this year. He's allowed 2 home runs over 72 innings, 2.13 ERA, 230 opponent's batting average, but it's not looked good the last couple starts. And the Rangers have stopped hitting lefties. They've stopped hitting lefties. So let's start. We know the roof will be closed, so we can go right into the line analysis. And we'll start on the money line with Heaney versus Valdez. Let's get this. There we go. And I think that the Astros have made sent a huge message to Texas in this series. Astros opened up at minus 158. They're now minus 169. I have interest in them here. Then we have on the total, we have it opening up at 8.5. It was minus 120 to the under at Bet Online. This has gone down to 8 a few different times, but it's back at 8.5 right now. It's gone to 8 a few different times, back at 8.5. By the way, interestingly enough, we're starting to see not at Pinnacle. Sorry, I was going to say movement on that under in Angels Tigers, but no, 6-1 Marlins now, says Benjamin Mills. Yeah, I can't live bet that under. One of the keys when you live bet games is that you need, if you like unders, you need the game to be competitive. You can't have the worst pitcher, the worst bullpen pieces on either side come into the game. So if you like overs, you want the game not to be that competitive. Because then you have the weaker arms here. I mean, that's probably too simple of a way to put it.
Yeah.
So
good analogy.
It just I get so nervous when the game stops being competitive that I'm gonna, on any kind of under, because you just can't trust the bullpen pieces that come out. For the cash flow here, we have 84% of tickets, 78% of cash on the over, 84 and 78, and on the money line here, we have 66% of tickets and 85% of the cash on the Rangers. 66% of tickets, 85% of the cash, and yet this market is moving towards the Houston Astros, who are smashing lefties in July. And Joe Yerger says, extra innings is a huge problem, of course, when the game is competitive. Of course, that's what that can hurt you. Rangers bullpen's been so bad, 6.33 ERA. Take it away, Doc. Very interested in your analysis on this one. Rangers, Astros at Minute Maid.
This is one I got caught in my pants down the other day. I bet it under early on, and it was like first 5 under, and the Rangers had like 6 runs in the first inning. I was like, what the fuck? Baliak was pitching for Houston. I got fucking crushed on that game there. So I kind of took the day off with them on the next one. Here, what are we going to get here, though? We got 2 strikeout. I consider them pretty good strikeout artist type pitchers. They log the innings, they can go deep, both of these guys. The Rangers have kind of, like you said, they have fallen off a little bit against lefties, but, still they're kind of like in the same spot to me, not as bad as Tampa right now. And then Houston, like you said, is a statement series for them. So how do we bet the Astros, though? That's the key. See, I haven't figured that part of it out yet. I don't want to bet them on the run line because I don't want to lose the extra at bat. And I like Valdez at home, so just the numbers are a little juicy for me. I like Houston on the side. I definitely do that. But I think the pricing is a little higher than I like to get involved with. So I couldn't find a way to get to the window with it, but I do like Houston. How are you going to play it, Jim?
Well, I'm just looking at the numbers from someone else will find it. Here from Bet365, minus 175 and plus 115. I could, the -1 line, I think I could work with here.
Yeah.
Let me just pull up the -1 calculator. I don't have it up here right now. Here we go, the run line calculator. Let's just see how much that would cost. So American to risk 150. So that's minus 175.
I mean, do I come in and try to get a first 5 under here in this spot? And come back to that bet I made the other day, and hopefully, it just kind of holds on. But then again, if you said the Rangers are struggling versus lefties, maybe I take them on a minus half run line. What do I get for a minus half run on the first 5 with Houston?
So, well, the Bet 365 is offering that -1 at minus 128 on the full game.
Full game.
And then it's much better at Pinnacle. Wow, it's going to be so nice to have Pinnacle going. Hopefully I can keep this account going for a while. But at Pinnacle, sorry, let me get this. How did it go? Here we go. At Pinnacle, that -1 is on the full game, minus 169 and plus 124. 169 plus 124 is minus 120. So Astros full game -1 is minus 120, and Astros first 5 minus a half is minus 115.
115.
Mm-hmm.
All right, give me that. I'm gonna take first 5. I know they got a great bullpen too, but you know what? Give me the full game. Give me the full game -1, minus 120. I'm gonna split it. I'm gonna come back, and since I got screwed on my Tampa game, let me come back with the Astros here and chase a little bit. I'll take them minus 115 and minus 120. I'll double up.
All right, first 5 minus a half, minus 115. Can Framber bounce back from these 2 starts? We have 1 game left, but I'd love to hear what Jose thinks of Framber Valdez. I know he loves the Astros in the series and in this, but I just need to know what he thinks of Framber. Thank you for jumping back on, Jose. What is your expectations for Valdez after 2 bad starts? The Rangers aren't hitting lefties.
I'm taking the Astros -2 at plus 155 today. I believe in Framber. Pitched against them well earlier in the year. Well, relatively, I guess. It was 5 runs, but only 1 of them earned. So I think he can come back and pitch well. Obviously, it's a big spot for him. I think he's a big game pitcher. And you mentioned it. The Rangers against lefties this month just not good. 25th, 80 weighted runs created plus compared to their second full season. So yeah, I'm on the Astros as well.
Yeah, I'm going to do this with you guys. All right, I'm going to roll with you guys on Astros, but I'm just taking full game -1, not a double up spot for me, but I like it. All right, what about Oakland, San Francisco, Jose? You move on that one? You want to stick with us for the last game?
Do you know who's pitching? Because I have no line, and I don't know who's pitching.
Yeah.
I assumed it was Hogan Harris and Alex Wood, but I didn't have a line.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah, I had a line with Alex Wood, and I looked, and they had him listed on the books, and but they don't anymore. It's R. Walker.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's not Alex Wood. I
I assume Alex Wood will be following him
the
then.
Primary.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they've got listed right now here. Alex Wood's the primary. Okay. So that's that can be broken down pretty easily. Joe Yerk versus Astros, first 5 minus a half. Why not that? The Rangers bullpen is 2.11 runs worse over 9 innings than the Astros bullpen right now. I mean, should I double up? The only question then would be, should I double up on it, Joe? And my legit concern here is Framber Valdez going to pitch great after 2 bad starts? So that's why I'd prefer not to double up, and that's why I'm leaning towards the full game. But you're right, Joe. That might be a better look than the first 5. So
see, I joined you on your look. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like the full game look, and I kind of tend to agree with Joe a little bit too on that. So that's why I doubled up.
yeah, no, I get it. I get it here. So the Royals Guardians spot is off and rolling. So is Mariners Twins, and they've opened that game up, the Mariners, with a double. So we got the over there. We got the Guardians first 5 minus a half as well. So need Williams to look good here. And we got that full game over 8.5 in Mariners Twins, so it'd be nice to get them rolling right off the hop. And then it's still 3-1 in Rockies Nationals, so we need 5 outs. Now that we've got the first out in the top of the 5th, we need 5 outs to get there. And it won't help us. The Nats would have to come back and take the lead for us to catch the -0.5. So not good there. Let's roll on. Let's roll on our final game on the board here. We have Alex Wood going to be the primary against the A's at Oracle Park. Hogan Harris on the other side. Let's start with the weather here in San Francisco. 60 Fahrenheit, 8.6 miles per hour to left, 8.6 to 10 miles per hour. They have Oracle minus 34% home runs, minus 10% runs. We cashed that first 5 very, very easily under 4.5 last night. And here we'll go over to the line history. Jesus, sorry, that's got to be Carter. Carter, can you please stop that, my man? Here we have under 8.5 at -107 was the openers. Now under 8.5 at -106. And from a from a money line spot, you have these Giants opening up at -2. What are they? -231. They're now -223. A very small move towards the A's. You have Alex Wood and Hogan Harris. Hogan Harris looked good in his last start. 3-1 loss at home to the Astros. He pitched well. That was the spot that was last Friday, and that was the gift was the Astros. First 5 -0.5, and the Astros put up 2 runs in the 6th inning. They won the game 3-1, so they covered the -1 full game, but not the first 5 -0.5. On the road, he's been bad this year. 7.45 ERA, 289 opponent's batting average. But that's just over 19 in the third. Alex Wood coming off 5-3 loss at the Nationals. He's not looked very good this season. 4.99 ERA, 1.54 WHIP. He's fighting with Kapler is the rumor coming out of San Francisco. The A's are hitting 231, 688 versus lefties. Look at the Giants. They're not 1-0 Mariners, says Justin McElvey. We want more runs fast. The Giants versus lefties, just 184, 551 OPS. Both the Giants and the Mets are just not hitting lefties in July, and both bullpens have been mediocre. Let's start with Doc. Take it away. Any thoughts here in the Bay Series, A's, Giants?
Yeah, I lean to the under here because Giant. I mean, they should. You got the biggest run differential, the worst run differential team in the league against a team that's not hitting any kind of any lefties right now. So I would lean towards the under here, but I don't trust the Giants bats versus lefties right now. Otherwise, I'd be pounding them. But in this particular spot, I'd have to say, hey, no, too high. What's the odds on the game? What do we got? What are we laying? 2-something, 225, 2.
Yeah, I almost nailed it. It's been between -220 and -231 at Pinnacle.
Yeah, so yeah, that's a little too rich for a spot like this. You know, just I know Logan Harris is nothing to write home about, but it's just the Giants bats right now versus lefties is off-putting. You know, I would say take them on the run line against the worst run line team in the league, but not going to do it today. So I'm off this game.
Why not just move on a first 5 under here again? Go back to the well on the under.
Yeah, I mean, that would be the look. I would say first 5 under, if anything.
Jose, what do you think of this spot? Any interest?
Really not. Honestly, not really. I wasn't very enthused about betting the Giants to begin with. Let me double check their numbers against lefties this month.
Horrific.
Yeah, it's 29th, 54 weighted runs created plus, and 250 plus plate appearances there. So do I really want to bet on Hogan Harris to try to shut these guys down? I mean, I see it, but if anything, it'd be like a first 5 under for me. Otherwise, I'm passing.
Yeah. Hurry up and grab the money and get out with the first 5 under.
Yeah, you can even do a Nerfy. Shout out to Mike M. I haven't bet a Nerfy in a long time now.
Yeah, there you go.
I wouldn't hate a Nerfy in this game either.
That's a good look.
The only issue right now is that 95% of the money's on the under. 89% of the tickets, 95% of cash. I don't see this moving towards the under at this point.
Mike M dropped a little Oakland run line as plus money. Saying we should take advantage.
Yeah, that's what I say. Do you take the worst run line team and take the run line here? You know what I mean? So, and the biggest run differential. A team that's not putting runs up makes it real appealing.
Yeah, I need to see movement towards this under to move on the under. So I need movement. I'll write that here, and I'll put question marks beside it. So that is the breakdown of all of our games thus far. This is a tough at bat for Williams in the Heat against Massey. I think we could be in trouble here. And he walked them, loaded bases up. Jesus. God, everything's got to be a sweat here. We're 3 outs away from catching the under. That was gift number 1 in Colorado, Washington. It's a very important under for us. The Joe Ryan got out of the top of the first, so it's 1-0 Seattle there. And Mikey M saying Oakland 7-0 on the run line versus the National League. All right, let's review all action here. All action. Troy Nowak gave us a spot here, and in soccer. I'm going to pop it into the chat for everybody. This is a little soccer look. Also, we got more looks from Clint, star of the Die Hard MMA podcast. And his new play for UFC 291 with Poirier versus Gagey is the over 2.5 in the main event, which sounds like a really fun bet. I'm interested in that for sure. I'm going to try not to pay too much attention to this bases loaded situation here with the kid up. I need the kid to fuck this up, man. So I'm going to try not to pay too much attention to it. But we've been given 2 gifts from our guy, TJ. One was that first 5 under 5.5 in Washington, Colorado. It's 3-1 right now. We're 3 outs away. And the other was the first 5 over 4.5 in the Chirac series. So we need this under 5.5 badly, Ragoo, or it's just a really ugly start to our day. So we're 2 outs away. There's no runners on. So that's a that's crucial for us. And that was the only move you made. You didn't double up there. So you're muted, my man.
I'm sorry. Yeah, doubled up in the Tampa spot, not the Nats. That's
okay.
the under that game.
So the Tampa Bay did not look good for us. We have the Guardians first 5 minus a half, and we have the over 8.5 in Seattle. So, we can still get out of this.
Oh yeah, it's early
With the winning morning here. Those are the early games. Then at 2:10 p.m., the Pimp Slap play of the day's Milwaukee Brewers and Tone Miggins gave us Dela Cruz home run at 5-1. Ragoo is on Flaherty over 5.5 Ks. I have some interest in the cards. I don't know if I pulled the trigger. I want the over 10 in Toronto. Oh God, that was close. In Toronto Dodgers. I just need to see. I need to see the lineups. I just need to see these lineups here. So Nerfy and Arise RBI, so a plus 3.75 unit start for Mike M. I love seeing that, Mike. Isn't it great to start days off like this? I love it. God, get me out of this inning, please. We're back to another full count with the bases loaded. Okay, I can't keep talking about other things that are going on here. This is too important to my action here. So we have the full count, bases loaded. Oh my good God. Here we go.
2 outs in Washington.
3 outs, it's done?
2 outs.
Okay, and is that enough? It's not going to be enough. Okay. Whew, out of the inning. All right, good God. Can anything be easy? No, it can't. Okay, so then that Toronto Blue Jays, LA Dodgers, I'm just waiting to see the lineups here and to see some legitimacy in this market because it's not doing what I expected to do, and we still don't have the confirmed lineups. So I'm waiting to get that info. It's not here yet. And when we take one last look at what's going on with that total, let's just take one last look at it because I've wanted it all day. But I knew that I have a bias in play here with what happened yesterday. So to the full game here, we have, 3 outs in Colorado, Washington. So we cashed that. Thank God. And we have a move to the over now at Pinnacle. They just moved it 2 more cents. So it moves to 10 at 7:12 p.m. last night. And since then, it moved in 1 minute. And since then, there's only been 4 cents of movement to the over. At least there's some movement to the over. I just want
cash the first 5 under.
Yeah, thank God. Thank good God. I need something here. I need to see the lineup. But I want this over 10. And maybe I should just bet it now. Ragoo's on Oviedo over 4.5 Ks. I have some interest in the first 5 under. Right, that's the spot that has 99% of the cash on the over, and the market's just not moving. 89% of the tickets, 99% cash on the over. So I'm going to need to put more time into that one. Ragoo's on the Orioles on the run line, a plus 154. Ron Crawford spreadsheet play today's on the Orioles, and I'd like to get involved. I'm going to look at that a little more. I can't move on the under at this point in Angels Tigers with the rain issues there, so I'm going to move that off. Then Jose's on the Red Sox plus 144. Ragoo's on the Red Sox first 5 plus 150. I'd like to join you on the Red Sox first 5. The Yankees first 5 under. I'm going to move on. Ragoo's on the over 9 at even money, and TJ's second gift, that first 5 over 4.5, and Cubs White Sox. I'm off of that. Ragoo's on the Astros first 5 -1/2, full game -1. I'm going to join him with 1 bet on the Astros. I need more movement on this A's Giants game, and that is our show for today. And Mark Schillingberg saying that Mike is smashing this card. I love seeing it, Mike. Great work. Thank you guys. Will, Mike M, Mark Schillingberg, Robert Franklin, Justin McElvey, Equinimus, Joe Yurkovich, Rocco Rogers, Rem Most, Kadesh Dean. What a great group. Joe Yurkovich, Alfred 44, AEOD, Steve G, DC Capper, JT Eel, RVD 420, and Chang Kim has a message for you, Ragoo. He says, it's not my birthday. So he's honest. There's honesty right there. It's not my birthday, but can I get your best pick, Big Ragoo?
One over in the Cubs game.
Top play. There it is. The over in the Cubs game for you, Chang Kim. The over in the Cubs game is his top pick. There you go. Rants, Cover Kings, Benjamin Mills. Thank you guys. Mr. Always Prophet, Deacon Mike. Thank you guys so much. And Jose, great job as always. There's Susie Easton in the house as well.
She's going to be working for the Knucks. That'll be fun.
That would be great. I would like her to be working for the Knuckleheads. We have some hope. We have some hope this year.
Do you? That's the most positive thing I've ever heard you say about the Knucks in like 2 years of working with you or whatever long it's been.
Yeah, we have some hope. We have a little bit of hope. And the Fish are scoring more runs here. Look at that. 7-1 now. 4-1 Rockies, but we cashed that under already. So all is looking good here. All is looking good. Thank you, Jose, for all the hard work you do. Jose, who is your guest in Say Hey Plays of the Day today?
It's Biff Tamden, a.k.a. Dabby Cab, will be joining us. Today will be an interesting show nonetheless. He just loves sitting there pointing and laughing at my shitty record, but it'll get better and I'll laugh. And then when the Rangers not make the playoffs, we'll have a nice laugh at him. But I can't wait as well.
I love that. Doc, thank you so much, my man. We'll close the show with you, my friend. Any last word? Thank you for being a part of what we're doing here. And I know college football and NFL is coming up, but can you do you have any last words here for the Cappers?
Yeah, absolutely. Always the last word. Not the last word, but a last word. So I just want to make an announcement that I called an audible this week. You know, Kelly and I were going to do a little vacation, but we decided to come out to Nevada early next week. So we're gonna hang out in Vegas. So if anybody wants to come out and have a drink, come out to the Orleans. Coming in on Wednesday, I believe, and then leaving like Monday. So come hang out with us at the Orleans on next week out in Las Vegas.
Oh, I love that. What a chance to hang out with.
Yeah, we're gonna be betting some Del Mar, Saratoga, you know, that kind of thing, and then just kind of kicking back and enjoying some good times out there. But appreciate you having on the show. Jose, always a pleasure to be on screen with you, my friend. And, of course, to the best chat in the business, all our low baggers out there.
Let's get that cash. Jose, let's get that cash. Leche, a Los Bookmakers.